this team, we're going to stand together and fight this disease.
I've come this way before, traveled through the open door. Circumstances navigate the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes. You see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know life took a hold on. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a miracle, no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's only what you do. Hey. Some things you gotta do. Hey. This fight for millions. Take a second, see the blessing in it. With much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine, let us see your brilliance.
Get up, open up your lungs now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. For the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm aces. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lacking. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah.
Give back, give love, give in some way. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going back soon and fight this final round. That's a paper, no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Can't take it personal, cause the devil is a liar.
Telling you the truth, hey. It's all in what you do, hey. Some things you gotta do, hey. Love is the word, bounce with me, hey. Hey. Sing this with me. Ooh. Love is the word. What's up, little homes? The Majestic. Hey, DB, if you want to come in early, you're more than welcome to, man. What up, DB? Love is the word. We in here, man. We in here early and often, man. Hey, I'm on my Michael Jackson. What about us? What about us? Shit, man. Oh, man. What about us? Last time, y'all. Oh man, that felt so good when we was wrapping that song up, man. I appreciate y'all coming here early and often, man. Thank you. Yeah, the palm trees, man. It's beautiful palm trees and sunshine out here today, man. Hopefully y'all enjoying y'all decent 48-degree weather all across the great country of the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know what I mean? But what do I know? It's open, D, if you want to come in. But yeah, man. So we got a fun guest today, man. Back down memory lane. Ooh. Ooh. Everybody's crush, right? I wonder little April 19th, Mauricio is coming in. So that should be good. Let me raise this up. Yeah, so I don't know if y'all want to see my blanket, but yeah, man. Yeah, I'm feeling good today, man. I got to, man. Man, we working overtime, man, to get this content out, man. We working overtime. I swear I ain't slept 4 hours since Thursday. Last Thursday, man. It feels good though. It feels good to be to be like doing it, like actually doing. How you have these ideas, these grand ideas. This week is just a culmination of like, you know, just great work, man. Great work ethic. PPD, DB, and everyone in the chat. Everyone. It's been a hell of a run for the past 8 days. Change, fly to Chicago, interview John Ali, then come back, and it's full go. 2 shows a day. Whew. It's fun. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this, man. I was gonna try and get Bob on tonight. I'm gonna see if Bob wanna. I was because it's no other way to squeeze him in. And I was gonna hit him up and see if he wanted to come on tonight. And we can talk a whole bunch of shit. Have a good time with it. I'll hit him up. That's me. That's me. Oh man, yeah, she'll be here in a second, Red. Yeah, she good to go. Her and PPD been getting along real well. So, but yeah, man, it's just awesome. Oh, the guest last night was the best. Wasn't John Carlos the? Oh man, you ever go to? Now I see why 8-year-old kids cry when they leave grandpa's house or grandma's house. They cry. I want to stay. I want to stay. That was like one of the we all had one of the moments last night. You know what I mean? Where we didn't want him to go, but we knew we had another show at 9, and we had like 30 minutes left. And you know what I mean? It was man, that joint was awesome, man. No lie, can't lie. It was awesome. So it should be pretty good. So I'm excited to start chopping that up. That shit gonna take 3 days, but I'm gonna chop it. That's a 4-hour show, so I'm definitely gonna chop that one up. And but yeah, it was an awesome show last night. Yeah, he deserves, man, the sacrifice that man made for us in 1968. The financial losses he made. Just think about when you win a medal in the Olympics, you go on the Wheaties box, you do like the local national media tours. He got none of that. They blackballed that man for 45 years, man. And John Carlos deserves every ounce of respect and every extra dollar that we have for him. So anyways, the guest is in the building. Are you ready? Get a thumbs up. You ready? I appreciate you. The beautiful, the great Ananda Lewis. How you doing?
Hi. I'm sorry, it took me a minute. I didn't know I had to log in with Facebook for the link, and then I had to find it was a whole thing. So
you did? You got to log in Facebook?
It made me use my Facebook login. It made me choose either YouTube or Facebook, and I don't know any of them off the top of my head. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna find it.
Oh man, all the men are gonna be mad in here because your Wi-Fi is kind of.
Oh, it's raggedy.
It's kind of pixelated. And they like, oh, they came in here just to see you.
It's super clear on my end. Let me see if I can go to a. Is it any better?
Nah, they just got to deal with it. They just.
Do I need to go downstairs?
Now you high signing. Do I need to go downstairs? Look at you.
Yeah, right. Like I live in a,
Well, we appreciate you coming. It'll work its way out. No big deal. It'll work its way out.
Awesome.
Yeah, they like her camera is terrible. They came in just for you.
It must be my Wi-Fi because I did something on my phone and used my phone instead. And that was stripping too. And now I'm on my computer and that's stripping. So it just has to be my Wi-Fi. It's not my device. The problem with the computer is I can't just click on to like a 5G or something. It has to be Wi-Fi. So is it still bad on your end? Because I mean, it looks fine to me, but I don't need Wi-Fi to see it.
Yeah, it's they go have to deal with it. You know what I mean? They go have to deal with my ugly face. But you're I saw carpentry.
Yeah, I have a degree in carpentry. I got it in 2010 from LA Trade Tech. What's up, Trade Tech fam? I went and did a 2-year program and got official.
Why carpentry?
Because I love it. And I think, life is short. You should do things you love. And that's something I really love. I'm passionate about it. I'm somebody who I dream about cutting lumber boards on my compound miter. Like that's just my reality. So I think it just is weird for people because of how you're used to seeing me, but it really is real for me.
Oh yeah, because I was like, man, that is an abrupt U-turn from being one of the most beautiful women in the world and then going to carpentry, you know?
Oh, that's all subjective, but thank you.
Well, I mean, hey.
Carpentry too, but you know, I think it's really important for especially young women. I know there's a lot of emphasis put on looks, but it's so important. And I remember always trying to say that and get this message out, you know, but I think it kind of falls on deaf ears coming from me because I got genetically, you know, got what I got. It's some people think, well, you can't understand what it means. Maybe, I don't know, but I understand what it means to be overvalued for your looks, which diminishes everything else, where you can't be taken seriously by people because they think you're so attractive. I think there's a limitation and a hindrance that it creates in your life too. And I just think it's really important for young women to know that you have to have more than that. This fades, this leaves you, this will be gone. And who are you going to be when it is? Develop that part, because this is all, I mean, you know, you could see people just creating this. This is all an illusion, right? Typically. So be more than that. It's great, but it's not everything.
It's definitely not everything. And before you had everything, it all started where?
In my mind, in my heart, but in my grandmama's house, getting my wrong. It's my grandma's birthday today too. It's her
happy birthday, grandma.
Happy birthday. I miss her so much. I still talk to her and everything, but I miss her being here.
Right. Grandma's house. I was just talking about how we had John Carlos in last night. And John Carlos is the Olympic track star that raised his left fist in 1968 games. And I used the analogy when he was he was on for 4 hours. It was supposed to be an hour-long show.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
You want, huh?
Yeah, so we got expectations. So, anyways, so and
my digitalized, pixelated stuff. Are they going to last that long?
Are you definitely at 320 for sure? And we just was enamored with him talk because every question we asked had a 25-minute answer.
Wow.
And we just sitting here like just go because he was born in 45, so he went through the Bumpy Johnsons. He spent 3 years with Malcolm X. Wow. He did the Olympics, and so it's just a whole shebang. And we just sat there and just listened. So, but grandma's house, right? Grandma's. I saw that in your bio. Yeah.
What you want to know about
it? Like grandma, like okay, so it was a separation between you and mom. Mom went across the pond.
You know. My mom is an amazing mother. She was a single mom almost her entire existence as a mom. And now that I'm a single mom, I understand the challenges and limitations of that. I think I judged my mom harshly as a child because I didn't understand the things that happen to adults. And now that I'm an adult, I understand it intimately for myself, right? And so what I will say now is that my mother did her very best and needed help, just like all single moms do. And she got that help from my grandmother. And once she got that help, she needed a break. And as someone who has taken breaks herself, I now fully understand that. So I value and love my mom so much. And I'm so appreciative for the life she gave me and for the help that she got to do it. And my grandmother was a big help in that. And it all turned out okay, you know, but no, my mother didn't necessarily there wasn't a separation. She needed a break. So, but even before that, my mom and dad were divorced since I was 2. And so my mom didn't have the support of my dad. And so she needed extra help because of that as well. So, yeah, but you know, I think that's true for a lot of people. I actually know more people that have, you know, broken, if you will. I think that's a bad word, but I can't think of a better one. Creative families than have the typical family. I don't know that the typical family is something that we should even refer to as typical anymore because it isn't common. What's common is people making it work and whatever that looks like, you know, single dads, single moms, people with grandparents living with them, there's all kinds of ways to do it. As long as you have love and stability in your childhood, I would say you had a good one. So I had a great one. And a lot of my carpentry love came from my grandmother because she had all these tools and she was the kind of woman who did her own stuff, right? She wasn't afraid to ask for help. She just didn't need help much, exactly like I am today. And I just saw her doing it, and I broke a lot of stuff. And her rule was, if you broke it, you fix it. So she taught me how to fix a lot of things, and tables and, plastic stuff. There wasn't as much plastic back then, but I could fix almost anything by the time I was like my son's age, 10. And I was taking apart VCRs and putting them back together in class when they would break at school. And they were like, what the heck? I mean, I've always been very mechanically minded. And so that was a love of mine way back. So I just decided to figure out if I could do it better. I didn't necessarily want to make a career out of it. I haven't hired myself out as a carpenter, but I've done a lot of projects within my family and within my friend circle and for myself. And that's really all I wanted to do. I wanted to do projects very well. And I wanted to know what other people were doing when I had them come in and do projects, so I wouldn't get ripped off. And so I could, understand everything that was going on. We have a problem with that in the circle of women I know anyhow, that where you're really nervous, one, about letting a stranger who's typically a male in your house with your kids to fix anything, because now they know where you live. They may know the layout of your house. It could become scary. But also, we get ripped off. It's just like with cars. You've heard a lot about it with the car situation, buying a new car, getting your car fixed. But it's the same with the home improvement arena, right? Because we don't know what that's supposed to cost typically, or what the repair is, what it entails. And so people can come in and tell you anything.
Right.
So I think it's important for women to know exactly how to take care of everything they have. If you have a house, if you live in somewhere, like, know how to take care of it. Know how to change your locks in case you get in a fight with somebody who has your key. That's why I did that tutorial on my IG. Like, girl, let me help you out with what I know. That's my whole life right now.
Right. By the way, your Wi-Fi had to warm up. That's what it was. You got the AOL dial-up. So now it took some time to get to 2020.
I had to wiggle the plug. So am I clear now or not?
Oh yeah, now you're definitely clear.
All right, good.
You're definitely clear.
Hi y'all. It's my clear self.
So how did you get into the entertainment industry?
Oh, I tripped and fell and landed there.
Oh, okay.
Literally. I maybe it's not so far-fetched, but I went to performing arts school, SCPA, my peoples in San Diego watching. And that was an amazing place for me to feel free and to be embraced. And it was 4th through 12th grade at the time. I guess it still is. No, I think they've switched to just junior high, high school. Anyway, when I went there, it was 4th through 12th grade. So I spent 9 years with the same people. We changed campuses toward the end. I was the first graduating class of the new campus. But I had a background and a love for like musical theater, and I played violin when I was a little girl, and music in general. But I never had any intention of pursuing that, because I already did that. That was like, elementary through high school, I did that. And I really wanted to be a teacher. And so I went to Howard University, HU, got my BA in history from there, and then was about to apply for Teach for America. I had the applications, which at that time were paper in your hands. They mailed them to you. Couldn't just download them online. And I was filling out that paperwork, and I was doing a youth program, the Mayor Bears Youth Leadership Institute, in the summer of, I don't even want to say the number out loud. It was 91. But
that was funny.
I did. And so a friend of mine, Keith Lawson, was working at BT, and he had been helping me try to find jobs in general. And he was like, you got to do TV. Like, look how you look and look at that. So I was like, I mean, if it's a check, let's do it. Right. Whatever I think I'm going to do, I need to make some money. I wasn't going to go back home. I was running out of money. I already graduated. Like, the support was done. Right. And so I was like, cool. So I auditioned for something else at BT and didn't get it. And then he said, oh, no, this one you have to come in for, because it's the work you're doing anyhow with kids. I was like, what? I didn't know what the show was because I didn't have cable. So he had to explain it to me. And I said, that sounds perfect. Let me come in. So I went in and auditioned, and apparently they didn't want to hire me. And Keith really fought for me, because I was a complete unknown. Like, nobody knew me. I was fresh out of college. I was doing, I was literally off the radar. And I had done the Shy video, right? But that was it. And he really fought for me and said, nope, this is who you need to hire. And in addition to that, nobody could compete with me in the audition. And they kept trying, and they were like, nah, whoever it was, I don't know who auditioned at the time, but I just really had a gift of reading prompter, and I've been working with kids all summer. So it made sense. I had a speech impediment till I was 8. And as soon as I got through that, because my mother was smart enough to get me help in speech therapy for 3 years, once I could speak, that was it. I never shut up. So it was a perfect job for me, really a perfect job. I think God was just like, this is what you're supposed to do. So go.
And HU is kind of a hotbed. You know what I mean? You got the vice president. We got the vice president. We got
the finest women. We got the yard.
Uh-huh.
We have great men. We have, Howard University, the real HU.
Uh-huh. I every time I go to DC, I eat at the Florida Grill.
Oh, that brings back so many memories and so much heartburn.
Yeah.
I was
elaborate on the memory, because I always sometimes I gotta wait an hour, sometimes it's open, but I always sit at the table where Martin planned the March on Washington. Always sit at that booth, you know.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So say it again.
I was gonna say, how often are you in DC?
I used to go 2 times a year because of boxing and stuff. I travel with boxing 2 to 3 times a year, but it's going to start picking back up probably this summer. So I love the DC area. I actually love the DC area, you know. How was your Howard experience? People want to know in the chat. How was
Where's the chat people? I can't see them. Oh, they're on
you know, yeah, it's a whole bunch of men in there, and I'm sure you're used to it, but feel free. Click the live comments.
What?
Yeah, click the live comments.
I don't see that anywhere on my screen.
Do you see it?
No, that's okay. I'll let you handle. I literally don't see it. It just tells me I'm in the show.
They said, Fred, we don't care where you eat in DC. But
my Howard experience was amazing. I met one of my best friends there, who is still one of my best friends. I swam for Howard. I was on the swim team that paid for school for me for a couple of years. I had a great experience there. I had absolutely the experience I wanted and more. And I came from California, so I really wanted the Black college experience. I was like, wait a minute, I need to be surrounded by my people. Where are my people?
Right.
And, once you get into that environment, of course, you experience all the clicks and the things and the stuff, that's in that environment that you don't expect. That's true in any new environment. You don't know what you're going into, so you can't assume what's going to happen. You just have to go with it. But that is exactly why new experiences are important, because you don't learn anything unless you have new experiences and try new things. And I don't know anybody who didn't love Howard unless they got kicked out early.
Yeah.
For their own behavior.
Right. And you made
Howard too.
Say it again, please.
I got in a lot of trouble at Howard though.
Oh, we'll talk about the trouble.
Why would I talk about that if you don't already? Why would I brush myself out?
I mean, all of us have spent time in the dean's office. You know what I mean?
I was worse than the dean's office. I got sent to the I don't even remember what they were called. They were like a board of student affairs or something, and they actually expelled me from the dorm.
Oh, well,
it was intense. She wasn't my roommate at the time. One of my best friends still at the time. We lived on the same floor. I think we were roommates right next door to each other at the Quad. No. Yeah, it was the Quad. And I'm not even going to say what I did. I'm not even going to say what I did because you don't know. So I don't need you to know. I'm going to plead the fifth and protect myself and just say that it was bad enough to get kicked out of the dorms.
Oh, man.
It was a safety issue.
Yeah, because we just heard what happened to Casanova on the Nick Cannon interview.
What happened to Casanova?
He's in jail. He's in jail, and a Nick Cannon interview, they wouldn't allow him to get bail because of a Nick Cannon interview, because of what he said on a Nick Cannon interview. Yeah,
he incriminated himself.
Yeah, he said that he's a threat to the public, obviously, because he couldn't make bail.
He said he
implied. You know how rappers talk.
Oh,
yeah, some of them. Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, very. You were a history major.
I was.
Why history?
Because I wanted to go into teaching, and I was having to placate my family at the time who wanted me to be a lawyer. And so I had to choose a major that I could do either one with, so I could play the game right up until the end and not get disowned.
Right.
I needed the help, so I didn't want to not get helped. And I was like, what do I got to do? Okay, well, I mean, I could hustle. little
Yeah,
bit.
no, you absolutely had to hustle, man. I remember my college experience, just absolutely hustling, and always tell people in the chat, I never bought a college book.
You
Never.
didn't? How'd
No,
you get the book?
I plead the fifth, and and
Good
uh,
job.
yeah, and it just was but college was a phenomenal experience, you know.
Yeah. I worked at Tower Records my freshman year. Maybe it was my sophomore year. But I had to hold some crazy jobs. I worked for the dean's office, the student affairs. I worked right there in the front. I was hooking people up. There's people who will tell you the hookup stories. Like I used to hook people up during the registration time and all that. I was like, when I had the hookup, I shared it always.
I say that all the time. No, I say that all the time. If you work at McDonald's, why are you charging people for fries?
Like, don't go so far where you hurt your job, right? Like, be looking out for yourself first. Charity begins at home. Cool. But then there is wiggle room. Like all those companies, they have a certain amount of percentage they know is going to get wasted. They have a certain, like, and you're not hurting anything. I don't condone damaging someone's business, damaging someone's property, damaging someone's life. All that's going to come back to you is karma. But there's wiggle room. And I like to live in the wiggle room. I really do. I'm like, well, how we going? Whoa, that was good.
Okay.
Wiggle a little.
Uh-huh. And you slid yourself right into BET.
I did. Oh, actually, I have to give Keith credit for that. I thought I did it. I was, all these years. I just found that out 3 months ago. All these years, I'm thinking, oh, I was just so good. I got hired. He had to go in there and fight for me. I was the best person to audition, but they still didn't want to hire me. That wasn't enough. So he really fought for it. Thank you, Keith. Like my whole life would have been different were it not for that one thing. And I think maybe we don't all know about it, but for all of us, it's true. Like your life would be totally different today if it wasn't for that one thing. And there may be a bunch of things, right? But the one thing that started you on that path that led to whatever, right? I now have amazing amounts of like love and what I feel like is kind of I paid it forward to enough, like millions of people that I had no idea I was having that effect on at the time.
Right.
Now I have that to pull on and I have that love in the world for me. I mean, it's priceless. I could never create it again from here. It was during a time that is gone and will never return, like this golden age of TV that I just kind of landed right smack dab in the middle of with both BT and MTV. And it's an irreplaceable experience that even though I didn't love it all the time, I'm super grateful that I went through it and dealt with everything I had to deal with and that I have that as mine,
Mm-hmm. And how was your BET experience?
It was great. I mean, a lot of the basic stuff is true of any startup network or any network that's trying to cut corners. I didn't get paid a lot. I worked hard, that's okay. I learned a lot working hard and not getting paid a lot. I learned how to make it work. And I used to walk to work from where I live sometimes. And I mean, it was my first job out of college. And so for what it was exactly what it was supposed to be. And I also met great people there who I still know to this day and I'm cool with. And it was wonderful. I enjoyed my BET experience a lot.
How's Bob Johnson?
I've only met Bob a couple of times. He was cool every single time I interacted with him. So to me, he's cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because we like the people in the 500 section. I mean, we only hear about Bob Johnson. We never get a chance to meet him or anything like that. So,
and it's so interesting. You have to really be careful. Everything I look at, I can look at this kind of macro view and then I kind of zoom in and go micro view. Every single thing comes down to a micro view that is just a person, right? So when you're talking about all these big issues that we're confronting and trying to work through as a nation right now, racism, sexism, all of that, what it boils down to is an individual. When you're talking about the perspective of people who you have on this pedestal in your mind because of what you think you have to boil it down to the fact that they are a person. And for me, when I look at it like that, nothing surprises me, nothing disappoints me. Sometimes I'm disappointed just because there's this disconnect from what I thought I knew and what is actually the case. But that's your fault for thinking you knew something. Actually, that's not their fault for being human. That's your fault for assuming all of that was all there is to know, right? But I think that the huge disappointments that we see happening really boil down to that individual person being human and not having the space to be human because of the pedestal and the box that they got put in because of the persona and the elevation of that, right? And I lived in that myself for a while. And I think, what I regained in my life when I left the industry and went to take care of my grandmother the last 2 years of her life was my normalcy. And what I didn't know going into BET, which was a great job, Teen Summit, my favorite job ever, especially on TV. But I didn't understand what I was getting into in terms of the entertainment industry and the TV field itself, right? I did not understand it. I didn't do the research in it. I didn't even know to do the research in it. I was just like, oh, cool, fun job, let me do it. And it started just happening so fast that I never had time to stop and do that. And I think for me, the reason that industry itself was something I felt like I needed to pull back from was because the levels of negativity, I'll call it, like as a collective word, because there's individual things I would call it too, but it doesn't matter. It's just not me. Like, I like being in experiences where I know people are telling me the absolute truth, right? I don't like being deceived. I don't like being led in one direction and it's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I, as an individual, as a person, as a being on the planet, living in the body, it wasn't good for me anymore. And it wasn't my BT experience. It was my after that experiences that I'm talking about. So I think in general, hopefully this time out we've all taken with this pandemic, I know it's given individuals a chance to look at themselves and think and evolve if they're using their time well. I also hope it's given industries an opportunity to do that and to address things, to be more civil and human, because they're made up of individuals. And when the collective kind of group is trying to do things in a way that individuals think is incorrect, they need to listen to that more. And they need to take time to make changes. Because once those individuals get upset working for you, you don't have anything anymore.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And so, I was the warm-up act. The host is actually here. DB.
Yes. Miss Ananda, aka Bliss Lewis. How you doing?
DB, I've been warming up this whole time.
That's good.
The actual hell.
That was like the stretch even before the warm-up.
Okay. You think I needed to prepare for you. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
What you got for me?
Oh, man, I'm glad that you're spending some time with us today. Last night we were talking about, I just want to switch reels for a second. We were talking about approaching women, and beautiful women in particular. And as I was thinking about you coming on, I was like, I want to ask Ananda this question right here. What is
Where are you?
Say it again, Ananda.
Why can't I see DB visually? Where is he?
Oh, he's on the phone.
I'm right behind you.
He's right behind you.
Make it look. Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you were gonna pop up all the time. Got it.
He's like Mr. Deeds, though, for real.
Got it. Ooh, the mystery. Okay.
Yeah. Me, Mr. Deeds, Bob Johnson, and Al Heyman. We only appear every once in a while.
I see. And then it's special when you show up. Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Try that.
Yeah. But last night we were talking about approaching beautiful women, and I was just thinking too, what is not necessarily a pickup line, but the best approach that a guy has, come on to you?
Well, I'm messing with this one little piece of my hair. I'm not someone who does pickup lines well. And I'm also someone who, I don't know if you've noticed over the years, but I run my mouth like I have a lot to say and I'm not afraid to say it to somebody. So I've had some interesting interactions with men who've tried pickup lines because I'm not real, it's just, don't be corny, be yourself. I guess that would be my number one piece of advice. Every man I know that I've ever really liked, I met as them, their actual selves. Don't do a pickup line is like some corny side personality you think you have to put on. What women, well, I not speak for all women. What I and the women I know directly really want is a genuine look at who you are. Because if you do this corny pickup line and then we say, oh, we've done it for whatever crazy reason, actually liked it, which we usually don't, but decided to go along with it, eventually we got to see who you actually are, right? Eventually we got to see that. You might as well start there, because if we don't like you, you're going to save your time. You're going to save time, effort, energy, and everything you put in. I think one thing that women underestimate and undervalue is really all of that, the time, attention, and energy, and really what it takes on an ego level to put yourself out there like that. And it's a very vulnerable position for men to be in, who most men I know are not comfortable being vulnerable anyway. And yet you see this amazing woman and you want to talk to her, and all of a sudden you have to be vulnerable. So I think we need to give you more credit for the difficult step that it is to really open yourselves up to come and say anything, because 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to get rejected. You've probably been rejected before, because those are just the odds, right? It's not personal, just the odds aren't in your favor sometimes, and that's difficult. I think that's hard for men, and I've tried to be kind within my understanding of that, or because of my understanding of that. And I think there's room for women to be more kind, but I also think there's room, more importantly, for men to be smarter, for men to be more humane about how they're approaching us. We are not, slabs of meat. We are not just these bodies that you look at and are so enamored with. And in fact, many of you have already had the experience that when you get too caught up in just the body, you get a full package that you don't want most of. And so I think y'all need to be a little more picky and not just go for these visually attractive women, but look further than that, look deeper than that, and don't just go up to the most attractive women you see. You have to defy your biology, right? Because you are intelligent enough to do that. We're in these biological bodies that have all this automatic nature to them and all this automation. And we have to use our intellect to overcome that, because we are not just animals. We are animals in our core, but we're more than that too. And our intelligence gives us the right and responsibility to evolve past just what our bodies and our instincts are trying to get us to do. I think you have a responsibility to do that. And I think when you take that responsibility seriously, you're going to get a better response from the women you're trying to talk to.
Get them, girl.
I'm just saying.
By the way, happy belated birthday to you, and happy birthday to your grandma.
Thank you for both so much.
Yes. Yeah. Did you pledge when you were at Howard?
I did not. I've always been me fi me.
Me fi me. And how did you feel when I guess she's not your sorority sister, but she's part of your alma mater, when Kamala Harris was elected? What was your feelings and emotions about that?
So proud. I mean, so proud. Like, I cried. I was crying that day. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I was crying that day. I went live with Free from BET, Free. And we were talking about how we were crying because we were so happy. It's such validation. We know and have always known how great we are as brown women, black women, women of color, whatever you want to call it. And as Howard alum. But for the world to know, for the whole country to get it, it's like a whole nother level. And pride was really the number one thing. I'm so glad that now we have yet another bar. We've set another bar. There's another level that young girls who look like us know they can get to now, because someone who looked like them has done it. What's interesting is it gave me an opportunity to kind of reflect on my time in television. And I've been more recently hearing more feedback from people who were, kids watching me or teenagers watching me from Teen Summit and all the way up. And I'm really grateful to kind of stand in that space too and be somebody that, especially little girls, but also brown boys, looked at and said, she's on there representing me and I can do that too. Or that's now possible in my mind. Like, I never really understood that that's what I was doing until recently. And I'm so grateful for that. It's like, it's one of my deepest things that I'm grateful for, because I did it kind of haphazardly. And I think when you're doing it well, you are doing it haphazardly. When you're so self-conscious that everything is orchestrated and you're trying to get people to feel like this about you, that's not it. People either feel like that about you or they don't. And it's based on you being who you are. So all that other stuff, gets in the way. And I think Kamala has been herself. And I'm super proud of that working for her. Right? Because you could be yourself and have it not work too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Outside of hope and inspiration, what else do you think that she brings to the table? This administration period, her and Biden, what do you think that they bring to the country now?
Well, I always see both parties as pretty similar. I'm not a political person. I don't really take sides. I do vote typically Democratic, but I think there's problems in the Democratic Party as well. One thing that I think is important is that the negativity of the former administration get swept away for the majority of people. I know we still have a lot of pissed off people that it went this way, and we're going to have to deal with that, or maybe they're going to have to deal with that at some point. But for the rest of us, I just feel like there is such a sense of more inclusion with all the different assignments he's given to people and appointments he's made. There's this sense of inclusion now where there was absolutely a sense of exclusion, not even just to other people, but if you're not in my family, you can't work for me. That's what it felt like to me. Like you're just, nepotism was real in the White House. And that's not how our country's supposed to run. I feel like the genuine goodness of our country, the intention and its formation. And even as I say that, we are a country that was based on slavery as a system of income, really, when it was formed. And so we got to deal with that as well. But what I mean when I say the ideas of our country, what they were when they started it, are still pretty good ideas, right? Barring that you were not including everybody in this, barring that you were using my people as the basis of your income and your wealth, and still haven't figured out how to pay us back. Like, we got to kind of set that aside from the table to be able to still look at the good things that exist about our country. We are still the best place on earth to live. I fully believe that for anybody. I know that as now an entrepreneur, that this is where you want to be able to do business. You're free to speak your mind. They're not going to come drag you out your house. Like, we have a lot of benefits going on for us. We're a good nation. I think we can improve. We're not great, but we're good. And I think having Biden and Kamala in office helps us have the potential, at least, to be even better. But that's not just up to them. That's up to all of us. What is dinging on my thing? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what that is. You hear it?
Yeah, you probably get texts or phone calls.
But I'm on my computer. It shouldn't be text and phone calls. Oh, it's because I still had my mail open. Okay, sorry.
Okay, there you go.
You got mail.
You got mail, Ananda. Yeah, look, read. You got mail.
Look at you, flashback. I haven't heard that in it very long.
It's on the screen for you. You literally got mail.
Oh. Why is it? I thought y'all were trying to sell me something. It says opulent LD $4.99. I thought it was an ad. I did.
There's a message that you can't see the message underneath that.
Yeah, I do. I see it now. Salute, Freddie and DB. Ananda, you've been fine forever, but what's best is that you're beautiful on the inside as well. Oh, thank you. I will share my grandmother with that. She didn't raise me to be cute. She raised me to be smart.
Yeah, and one thing about my brother Opulent LD, you and I are the three plant-based, folks in here.
Oh, you're vegan. Nice.
Yeah. So shout out to that. I wanted to talk about that, Freddie, if you don't mind that.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So
what'd you say, Ananda?
I said Freddie was just a placeholder.
Yeah, absolutely right. Put that green smoothie on me.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about
my lifeline.
Dietary, if it was wellness or just kindness to animals, or what was the reason? And if that goes into the illness, we can talk about that as well.
Oh yeah, it kind of does. So I went vegetarian when I was 17 for about 7 years. I was vegetarian all through college, end of high school and all through college, and then for a couple of years after that. And the reason I did it then, was I made myself a T-bone steak at my mama's house on the grill. Well, I know in a skillet, I guess. And I remember it. I put Tabasco sauce on it, lemon juice. Like, there was a certain way I used to like my steak. And I got the sickest I had ever been in my life up to that point, and was like vomiting, and it was horrible. And I believed it was the meat that made me sick because I ate too much of it. I think there's a lot of problems with how we eat meat in our society and what we think is okay. And we are so wrong on a lot of it. But I learned the lesson the hard way for myself then, and just my body wouldn't do it. So that was one of those experiences where, you're so violently ill that now your body has an aversion to whatever it was that made you violently ill. And I couldn't even smell food without getting sick. So my body chose that path of vegetarianism. And that wasn't veganism. It was just vegetarianism. I didn't go back to eggs or cheese, or actually I did go back to cheese, but I didn't go back to eggs or like milk very, very quickly. That took me a long time. I'm not a big milk fan anyway, but it took me years to even be able to eat fish again. So once I got back to that, which was probably a couple of years after, it was a Maryland crab fest. That's what messed me up. That was the first meat I went back to. I couldn't resist it, and I just went ahead and had it. And then I was like, woo, right back in. I dove all the way back in. My next thing was chicken wings, and then I was back in. I really didn't eat that much red meat for a long time. I'm still not a big, or never have really been a big red meat person. Every now and then I used to do it, but I stuck with just being probably more, what do they call it, pescatarian for a long time, with a little bit of chicken here and there. I've done a lot of different eating styles, but I came back to veganism a couple of months ago, in maybe mid-December, when I was finishing 16 weeks of treatment that I did in Arizona for breast cancer. And it was the best diet for me with what my body had been dealing with. I had to eat meat for a little bit when I was there. First, when I was doing keto, it's almost impossible not to do. Some people have found creative ways to avoid it. I couldn't. And then I had to eat buffalo because my blood levels dropped and I had to get my iron and stuff up. And then when I was done with all that, I went back to veganism because it really is how our bodies want to eat. I think when you look at the fact that we're in the same bodies that have been on the planet for, thousands of years, our bodies haven't really changed that fundamentally, and how our ancestors lived in them and how we live in them. And the disease that exists now and the disease that existed then, when you just look at the comparison, food is the common denominator. And I think the reason so much of it is so different. And so I had to take a really good look at what is my body dealing with and what is the best way for me to be eating. I eat a lot of heavy and hearty grains, not a lot of wheat, but a lot of brown rice has arsenic. I'm about to do a post on that. So I don't eat a whole lot of brown rice, but I do eat a lot of amaranth and teff and millet and barley and stuff like that. So hearty grains, and then all plants. I eat all the plants I can find, and I slow cook them because high heat will damage your food a lot too. I can't quite do them raw yet. My stomach doesn't like that, but I really stick with just the basic low oil, heavy starch and carb in the form of vegetables and fruits diet right now.
You got mail, Ananda.
I love that color. Patty, yeah. Hi, Patty. Thank you, Ananda. You've always been so approachable, beautiful, and pleasant. We spoke back in the day at Century City Club. Oh my God, the Century City Club. I just had a fight up in there.
Oh, really? You had to fight the Century Club? You went to Century Club?
Almost. You know what got me out of it? This right here. This always gets me out of trouble. I will talk my way. We're talking mess or talk whatever. I talked my way out of it. It was with the guy too. He literally wanted to fight me.
What?
Yeah, it was horrible.
I'm shocked. I never met you at Century Club because that was like my spot.
I wasn't there that many times because I didn't live in LA when it was hot. I lived in New York, so it was just a few times I was in LA.
Oh yeah, man. Me and Century Club got along very well.
I bet you did.
Yeah,
Thank you, nice to see you again.
PPD. Yeah. Go ahead, D.
Century Club. Oh my gosh, that's memories.
Yeah, big memories.
But so
what I miss too? I miss Houston's.
Yeah,
I miss Houston so much. I wish they would bring it back.
So Ananda, since you wanted to go into teaching, and I heard about the Teach for America thing, but you still get a chance to do some educating, obviously with veganism. But I wanted to talk about the cancer and the importance of early detection and treatment and stuff like that. Sure. And I headed a program for breast cancer awareness. Started in, I think, 2010. Maybe it's been about a little over a decade.
What do you guys do?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
What exactly does the program do?
So what we used to do is I was managing a bunch of different gyms, mostly Gold's gyms, but I had a couple other gyms that I would do work for. But we made a whole bunch of pink T-shirts that said "Press for the Chest," and we would basically kind of, I don't even know what they call it, like you would tag somebody, whatever, and make a donation. So however many push-ups or bench press reps they could do, you donate that amount of money.
Oh, it's like you were sponsoring their working out.
Yeah, and anybody who put anything more than $10, then we would or I would match it. So
that's cool.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah, all of the money went to National Breast Cancer Foundation.
They do a lot of research there, don't they?
Yeah.
Here's my problem with that's beautiful. Thank you for doing that. Now that I'm someone who could benefit from that, I appreciate it. I am gonna start figuring out the best way to create income to help other women who are fighting it too, but it won't be the research, only because my own experience has taught me that we have, the research is clear. Like there's research. There's a ton of research about how to handle it. I think they want to do more research about how it starts, but where I think the most help needs to be right now is to the women who are actually fighting it. It is expensive. You go broke. You don't access the things that could help you, that you have power over, which are plenty of the alternative and natural remedies, like some of the ones I've used. I was on the fence. I did integrative, so I had a little bit of each side, right? I integrated the two sides. But the side of alternative natural care is not covered by any insurance and is the most expensive because of that. But also, I believe, some of the most helpful. One, because some of the things are very effective, and two, because you control them. One of the things I think women who are diagnosed go through, which is a little bit different than what I went through because I knew a lot going into it. But the women who go into it really not knowing anything, the fear factor is enormous. You don't know that you have a great amount of control over your body, whether you're well or sick or whatever. You have you have all the control over your body. This is your vehicle. You were given it when you got here as a spirit, and it is yours to control, right? Whatever happens to it, barring any crazy accidents, is probably a lot of times because of something you've done or not done. That's just the bottom line. And when people recognize that and take ownership over it, that's when you start seeing them transform, right? All these huge body transformations you keep seeing people have online, these amazing turnarounds, are because they realize they need to do something different and that they were the only person who could. So when you're talking about women who've been diagnosed with breast cancer and anything else, I think what's missing in the medical field is giving them an opportunity to feel empowered around something, because so much of what they're experiencing is fear-based and disempowering. Like, we're going to do this to you. You need to do what we say. And you might need to do what they say, but you also need to really be clear about what you can do for yourself. And what you can do for yourself, they could never do for you, because they'd have to step in your body and do it. They can't come home and into an infrared sauna and spend 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out, going back and forth. They can't change your eating. Some of them don't even tell you to change your eating, like it has nothing to do with why your body has malfunctioned. I think it is just, I'm not going to call it wrong. I'm going to say it needs some tweaking. But I'm not, in my life, I have chosen not to fight against things I don't like, but just to push in the direction of the things that I do, right? The things that I do think need to happen. And so I want to bring the money in to give to these women the things that they need, the sauna, all the stuff that I'll use. If I could take this computer around my house, you would see my house is like it's like a clinic. I've got an infrared sauna. My kitchen is decked out with juicers and Vitamixes. And there's a rebounder in my living room. Like, stuff is everywhere that I need to use, right? My exercise equipment. So all the things that are important, that have been important in my 2-year now battle with this, I want those other women to have. And they're not things that are affordable, I mean, for some women they are, but for the majority of women, they're not. I think there should be a place that can gift them what they need, almost like a breast cancer, like kick breast cancer's ass survival kit kind of thing, And that's what I would like to put together and just be able to give them, so they at least have that. And whether that is real help, the detoxing that happens in the sauna, the moving of your lymph system that the rebounder does, whether it's that, or just their mental release of stress that it gives you to understand that you do have some control. You're not at someone's mercy. This doesn't have to take you out. There are things you can do, right? And I think it's important.
Yeah. So what do you think were the contributing factors? I mean, obviously you'll never know, or, possibly never know, but do you think eating the contributing factors?
Yeah, of why it happened. I do know some of them because of the way that I treated it. The place I went, they did extensive testing on me in the beginning. I had like 95 pages of test results of craziness. So I know that I had high levels of acrylamide, which is a cancer causing chemical, in my system. That comes from potato chips and French fries. The majority of the time, that's where it comes from. Some lipsticks and makeup. We all hear about a lot of, makeup being toxic. Yeah, some makeup is toxic. But when you look at, unless you're literally putting tons of makeup on your face and like eating your makeup, that's not half as toxic as the food you're eating. And nobody talks about that part. So I could wear a lipstick that might have acrylamide in it and just get a little bit in my system licking my lips. Well, my body, my intelligent, amazing body has the resources to deal with that. It has, clean out mechanisms, your liver and your lymph system. Some of that stuff will get cleaned out. But when I eat an entire plate of potatoes that's full of acrylamide, because acrylamide is created when you heat potatoes up that high to fry them, right? So we're talking it's like above 250 degrees is where the acrylamide starts to being created from the asparagine, which is the original essential or amino acid that it is, whichever one of those, sometimes I forget. It's amino acid, heat hits it in conjunction with sugar, which the potato is the sugar. What's created is acrylamide. You eat a whole plate of that, now you're damaging your body. You wear whatever lipstick you want. But if you're eating potato chips every day, I know I was eating potato chips a lot. I was eating a lot of French fries because that's what's normal, right? You got everywhere around you has French fries and potato chips. How many places have steamed broccoli? Not that many. So our choices are going to dictate what we choose. I get it. But when you hit something like a health issue, it really stops you in your tracks and makes you look at things. And when you get information, like the very specific information I was really grateful and fortunate enough to get, you have to make the changes. And so, yeah, I think the chemicals I was exposing myself to without knowing it had a lot to do with it. I think the environmental chemicals that I was exposed to, because I lived in Porter Ranch during the worst gas leak in U.S. history, and we had to stay in that home for a good 3 to 5 months before they got us out and moved away when people evacuated. I think that had a lot to do with it. And I think that because of the timing, my tumor appeared right after that. And that was a really wide window of time to be exposed to the levels of chemicals that were in the air. I was one of the people that called the gas company coming home like 2 weeks before they admitted what was going on, because I thought the community was going to blow up. Like literally everywhere you went for about a half-mile radius from my house, you could smell gas.
Wow.
And so it was intense. And I also think that my levels of stress and how I manage my stress had a lot to do with it. There are a lot of different reasons your body malfunctions. Very many of them have to do with the choices you're making in your own life, whether you're aware of it or not. And so I had to get really aware of it. I had to get really selfish. I had to decide I wanted to live, and whatever that meant I needed to do, short of the conventional approach, which really wasn't what I knew was best for me at the time, even though I did go on the fence and do some of it. I didn't go full bore into it, right? Barring that, I needed to do whatever I needed to do. And that was, there was a huge overhaul that happened in my life during that first year. And it was, I would say it's difficult, but I hate to hear myself say it because I hate to hear it's so hard, it's so difficult. Yeah. Welcome to life. It's going to be hard and difficult. Get over that part and get to the part where you're doing what you need to do for yourself so that you can enjoy this life, because it is amazing as well as difficult, right?
You got more mail.
Oh. Lovers, you want me to read it? What is the deal? Okay, tell me why the price is after the names.
Yeah, because so what happens is how they donate to the channel and how we're able, and we in turn donate that, so they donate and then we donate. And
that
then
makes so much sense. Thank you. I was like, is this his name? But then it kept happening. Thank you for your donation. Love is the word. To another wonderful guest and woman. Hi, enjoying the show so much. Very informative. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I was going to ask for a secret, but a little birdie told me that you smoked for a while.
Ugh. The birdie didn't tell you that. I told you that. I'm finally being honest about that. Bird thing got talk for me. Yeah, I did. Horrible habit. So the smoking probably contributed to it too. The only reason I don't believe the smoking contributed to it is, again, because of the testing. So my doctor, where I was, they do a very specific, there was probably like 50 chemicals that they tested for. It was a wide panel of chemicals. So the chemicals that would have shown up had it been the toxins from the cigarette smoking that were still affecting my body were zero. Like done. I had done a lot of detoxing after I quit smoking. I quit smoking over 17 years ago now. So what happens is when you stop smoking, within 6 months, your lungs begin to heal themselves. Your body is a healing machine, right? If you get out of its way, it will do a good job for you. You have to get out of its way and give it what it needs, right? There's 102 essential vitamins and minerals we don't give our bodies. So And we don't drink enough water. So we do a lot of wrong things and go, I don't know what happened. Well, if you think about it, you'll be able to figure out what happened. You were toxifying your body and putting it in a condition where it could not use all the amazing resources it has. You could not heal yourself because you got a brick wall standing in the way. So that's what cigarettes were for me back at the time I was smoking, probably. But once I quit, my lungs started healing, my body started recovering. And everything apparently got out of my system. So I would think that the smoking had a lot to do with it had I not had those tests. The smoking had a lot to do with my my emotional stress back then and how I dealt with it. So for me, it was a really unfortunate habit because it caused a lot of problems in my life. Yeah, self-imposed because I was choosing to do it, but I made a lot of decisions based on, like, can I smoke somewhere? It was just stupid. I had a hard time giving that up.
DOG says, loving the knowledge, sis. Salute to you.
Hi, DOG. Thank you. Oh, he's from London or something. Somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you know that?
I'm kind of smart. I started doing a little bit of investing and researching about the stocks and money and stuff. So I recognize different money symbols now. That's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. How did 9/11 affect your life, like your personal life and your career? Because I know you had a show on during the time that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
First day, right?
First day. Well, yeah, second day. So we launched September 10th. 2001, and 9/11 happened on September 11th, and it ruined my show. But I was so grateful for that because I was so miserable doing that show. I was like, it's a sign from God.
Wow.
It was a horrible day. I remember I was on my way to work that day, and I always carried like a disposable camera of some kind with me. Which is why I have all these pictures that I put on my app now, like in the place I call the vault, because it's all my personal pictures from back in the day, because I always had a camera. I was always taking a picture of somebody or with somebody, or somebody with me was always taking pictures of me. So I have a bunch of photos, but I have photos from across the water looking at the towers with the smoke before they fell. And the feeling that overcomes you when you realize that that is not on TV. And even if it is, it's not like a movie, it's real life happening right in front of you. And you get this, I remember having this overwhelming, like everybody else, I'm sure, sense of fear and foreboding, because I knew I had friends that worked down there. And I didn't know what was going on because I hadn't seen anything before I left the house. They closed the Lincoln Tunnel as I was in line. We had to back up, and that took like 20 minutes to back up from Lincoln Tunnel and, turn back around. I lived in Jersey at the time. And once I got back home, I turned on the news, and that's when I first, heard everything that was going on. And it was, like it was for everybody. It was shocking and horrible. And then the phones stopped working like they do in emergencies. Pay all this money for a landline and don't even work. I could see cell phones going out, but the landline? Really? I don't know. But I had this guy tell the Motorola two-way pager. So that two-way was my lifeline. I could actually get a message to somebody else who had one, and I had gotten them for all my friends. So my friend circle was still connected, and I was able to go pick up 3 or 4 people that had to walk across the Washington Bridge because, the whole city shut down, and was able to pick them up. And then we hung out at my house for, I don't remember, a couple of days because we couldn't get back in the city. So it was crazy. But I think that it was one of the rare opportunities in our generation where we really got to understand what life is like in the rest of the world. We're a protected nation. We don't experience it all the time. And that's why it's so shocking and crazy when it happens, right? But almost everywhere else you go, they're living like that. And I think it made me grateful for being an American and being in America, even with all our problems. Listen, I am proud to be an American, not in the way that you would think, but I am proud to be an American because we would not be able to do the things we do anywhere else. And I think we take that for granted because we haven't really lived anywhere else. But I've traveled a lot, and I'm telling you, you live in the best country to be in. That's why everybody's trying to get in here. They need to fix it for us. But once that's done, I'll be able to fully embrace it like we're supposed to be. We built this nation. I'm never going to let anybody take it away from me. My people built this nation. One, you took it from part of my family, the Native American part, and then my African part built it. So I'm going to get double reparations.
Well, you got your girl. You got to email your girl. You know.
That was a joke, y'all.
You got to email your girl. She definitely want that.
To email. I'm gonna have to. I'm HUM Kamala. That's my email.
She probably has an AOL account, but anyway.
I'm sure.
You were great friends with Aaliyah.
Yeah, I was good friends with Aaliyah. Well, so everybody says that was my best friend. I don't take that lightly. Like, I don't think she did either. We weren't best friends, but we were cool. Like, we definitely hung out. We definitely liked each other. We were in each other's company a lot. Yeah, I think she had best friends, right? So let me not take anything away from them. But we met on a professional level, working, and really, really clicked and hit it off. And we were, two-waying each other about stuff, and we were definitely friends. And I miss her a lot too. I miss what else she would have contributed to the world, because she was in a place when she got taken from us that was so beautiful and like right there. You know what I mean? It was like, that was so devastating. So devastating.
What would her future have been, you thought, being that we're in 2021?
Well, I think she would have dominated the music industry like Beyonce has, in that way, where she just had so much creativity and so many different places to go. And she was so brilliantly, musically gifted, right? I think she would have done more film. She really loved doing movies. I think she would have done more of that. I think she eventually would have maybe written a movie about her life, I would hope, because she had such an amazing life and all these different experiences that only happened to her. So, I mean, I don't know exactly. I wish I was could tell the future, but I'm not. But I think that energy lasts forever. She's still there, and my grandmother's still out there. I think everybody Prince is still out there. And I think that she feels all the love that still exists for her in this world. And I love to see it. I love her fan base. I love how hard they go for her. Most of them were little kids, when she was out. I'm like, y'all really didn't even know, you got this much of her. But it's so encouraging to see that love really does go on forever. It really does. And the love you leave with people, they will continue it. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's it's important, because it makes you feel good, but also for all these people concerned about leaving a legacy, your legacy isn't your money, it's your love. It's how you treated people, how you made people feel. So you working hard for something that they just gonna spend, but what you need to do is work hard for what's gonna live in their hearts.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And you know why I one of the reasons why I asked that is because she's buried in Ferncliff Cemetery, which is and every time I go to New York, I visit Malcolm X, who is buried. She's like 100 feet away from Malcolm X in her mausoleum. She's in a mausoleum, and he's in Pine Cup, something like that, literally 100 feet away.
That's super interesting. You should. Well, I don't know if it's appropriate to videotape it.
but it's so close.
These days, you took video at a cemetery.
But it's so close. Because I walked she's in the office, and I couldn't find. Here's the story. Okay. So I the first time I went to visit Malcolm X gravesite, I went into the office because I couldn't find. I do all my Google research and all that. But when you get there, everything looks the same, though. You know what I mean? Everyone, and I'm thinking Malcolm X got to have this grand plot.
Yeah, you're gonna know when you see it.
Yes, but it's not. It's just a plate, and just a simple plate. So I go into the office, and I had to, and you literally have to go. You have the option to go by her mausoleum, and I had to talk to the man, and then he said, "Oh, it's just right there." And I said, "How interesting that." And James Baldwin and Khalid Muhammad is buried there too. So it's just, so it's a lot of energy, as you just suggested.
Yeah,
and we could forever feel them, but what was some of the more interesting things that happened while working on BET and TRL? I mean,
I'm a lipstick addict.
yeah, totally.
I've done this 4 times. I do this with my eyes closed because I know exactly where my lips are, and I don't have to look. So that's the first time I've ever done that publicly.
You're definitely about to be a meme somewhere. Somebody somewhere about to put you on the meme. But
for some reason, I don't care what else I have on. If I don't have lipstick on, I feel really naked. It's like a nervous habit almost at this point. Always has been. I've always kept lips. So that's to explain that I'm not just vain and want to keep my lipstick on. It's actually like a thing I do to calm myself down. So what are some of the things that happen? Well, there was a lot that happened, but most of it I never really talk about because the things that I would tell you happen with me and other people, and I respect those other people's situations. Like, it's not just my experience, it's their experience. It happened with them, and I don't talk about other people's business. Like, literally, as a rule, I don't. I don't like gossip. I don't get into it. I watch some of the train wreck reality TV, I call it, no disrespect, but just as a result of kind of how it functions, like the train crashing. But I don't do it in my real life. It isn't the kind of energy I want around me. So I can't tell you those. I can tell you individually gosh, no, I can't. All my individual stuff has to do with somebody else. Sorry, can't answer that one very well.
No, it's fine. And in 2021, if you were, there was Ananda Bradley, and she says, and she was, another Ananda. I'm just saying, another Ananda.
Like, I changed my last name?
Yeah, yeah. And she wanted to get in TV, and she had the option of being independent or going with Viacom, or how would you talk to her about that?
Well, she's in this day and age, right?
Yeah, it's 2021.
This day and age, I would say go independent because you can. I think it depends on what your goal is, though. I never had a goal of being like famous or any of that. Like, that really just came with the territory. And in some instances was my least favorite part of it, right? The removal of my normalcy and my ability to just kind of be in the street and have a life. And I'm usually by myself. I like being alone. I spent a lot of time alone anyhow. I don't like it as much as I used to, but I don't really, say, oh, hey, come to the store with me. I just go to the store. So I'm out on my own a lot. And I've had instances where I have definitely felt like my safety was threatened, especially back then. I really couldn't move around like I wanted to back then. But even now, where I felt like it would have gone like worn completely away, it isn't completely gone. And so when you get one, I don't think she'll have an opportunity to ever have the kind of elevation that I had because of how TV was back then, right? Now you have a trillion options of what you can see, who you can see, there was a very narrow window of who was on TV and how often they were on TV, and that's closed, right? So she might be all right because popularity is different now. There were just like a few of us that really were out there doing it like that for that span of time. And gosh, you really could kind of name them on one hand too. Maybe two, but now it's saturated. So it's a little different, but I would still say independent because controlling your own brand, if you consider yourself a brand, as a face, as somebody who's trying to, whatever, like you're a brand, controlling that is important. Nobody is ever going to do it for you like you will do it for yourself because you know how you want to see yourself. You know how you want to have people see you, right? That's exactly why I put this app out. I felt like I needed my own platform to share some of the stuff I wanted to share. I see YouTube pulling people's stuff down. I see Instagram putting algorithms in that keep people from seeing your stuff. I see all these different platforms that use your content to make money doing whatever they want with your content. I don't know if it's true or not that they own your content. I haven't quite looked at in the agreements and stuff, they do give you some information about that. But according to them, they don't outright own it, but they can use it any way they want. Anyway, I just wanted to avoid all that. There's so much that I want to share with, whatever size my fan base is, 10 people, 10,000, whatever. Those people who want to see my stuff, I wanted to give them pure my stuff, right? Not covered with a bunch of ads, not potentially taken down, not minimized. I just wanted to give myself. And if that's your goal, then doing it on your own is really the only way to go. It's not as lucrative immediately, but it is more satisfying in the long run.
How about did you have to go through like frequency triage or because dealing with, and the reason why I asked that is because the many guests that we have on the show, they always say the entertainment business is just a whole bunch of hogwash, and they always downplay it to its very minimal, and you're vibrating high right now, right? So I'm asking, was there like a frequency triage that you went to? Did you have friends, and how did it get to this point?
I think I've always been this, and I think that's why I got hired at a lot of places, because I brought something different and I wasn't kind of steeped in the industry and like jaded or whatever that effect has on you. But as soon as that started happening and I noticed it affecting me, that's when I left. So maybe I saved myself because I left. I was like, y'all trying to kill me. I get it. There were a lot of reasons that I got out of there when I did, but I was not happy with what was happening to me. And the number one thing I do when I'm uncomfortable is leave. Now, I might need therapy for that. I might need to get better at just abandoning things, but that's who I am right now. And so that's what I had to do because I was like, oh, if it's between me and you surviving, I'm surviving. Are you crazy? I'm always going to choose myself. Always.
Right.
Always. Even when I didn't think I would, right? I still did. And that's just what it is. I really think human nature dictates that. We are here to survive. And I think we don't see certain things as threats to our survival, and then we don't know to run, right? Because we get like, oh, but you're going to be famous. Oh, but you have money. Oh, but you're going to. So all those reasons mean undo yourself and let yourself be sacrificed. No, I'm going to find a different way to have the money, and I didn't care about the fame to begin with. So for me, that is how I maintain my sense of, and when I left, I went straight to my grandma's house. So it was like coming back to the place I'm the safest and the most whole and the most cared for and like I went home. So that really was healing for me as well. And as beneficial as it was for her, for me to be there, I benefited immensely being there with her. Right. So I think that was a really great 2 years of healing for me, and gave me enough of a break and an ability to step back out of it and look at it, right? Objective viewing it, that I could re-enter it, even though it was, haphazard and begrudgingly. I didn't want to come back, but I needed to make money. And that's the easiest field for me to make money in, honestly. And I did have some jobs that were cool, once I came back, but I still was not fulfilled by it. And that's why I chose carpentry. That's why I went to do that 2-year program. I was like, this is what I love. So for me, the happiness, the vibration really comes from constantly choosing things that make me happy and not choosing the things that don't, for whatever reason. The guilt trips, all the stuff people put on you to try to get you to choose what they want you to do. Nope, got to dead that. And that's hard. And you will lose people that you love potentially. But if you lose them, they weren't never supposed to be there anyhow. They weren't there for you if they're gone. Right. So pruning, I look at nature a lot and say, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh, these trees are pruning themselves. Oh, there's things that are standard that happen in the world and other life forms, right? And other biological forms that live on this planet. And a lot of the benefit we have is our intelligence, but it also backfires on us. We get so smart, we forget to just be basic human beings,
You
Yeah, I'm thinking about the year. Did you have any sort of relationship or association or connection with the late, great Tupac Shakur?
Just that he was going to come on Teen Summit 2 weeks after he passed. We had him booked, and I was waiting on that interview, and he got murdered. And but I never had the pleasure of meeting Tupac. He was one of the people I thought I was really going to have a good vibe with, but it never happened.
I definitely could see a good vibe there for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was amazing. I was just always.
Who are you listening to now?
Mm-hmm.
And what are you listening to?
Where's my playlist? I have a lot of my own music on my phone, actually. Just starting to kind of trust my own voice and, get into it, not for a public thing, but just because I want to be free in every way I can be free. And that's one of those things that has always been a fearful situation for me. Like, I'm afraid to sing in front of people. I have been like, a clamp goes on my throat. It's really strange. And so because I don't want anything controlling me, I had to like really press into that and lean into it and go, oh, no. I will be getting control over that just because I want to, because you're not going to keep me from something that's mine. Right. So I have a lot of my music in here, but I also I really like Love Dorsey's album. Do you know her?
Oh, I'm writing it down though.
Yeah, Love Dorsey. She's a rapper from Tampa. Really dope woman. I like how she talks about stuff too. She has a lot of cool lives on her Instagram page. I have the new Busta Rhymes album, ELE, because I have always been a huge fan and lover and supporter of his from way back in the day. He was one of my favorite people to interview always. I have my Mary on here, thankful. I have Summer Walker. I have random stuff. Joan Armatrading, DeBarge. That's my favorite. Of course, I have the Prince Essentials, and that album, that whole collection is dope.
Oh shit! We had a whole show on Prince about 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
The show just fell apart. Everyone just fell in love with Prince because see what happened was he had these shows out here in LA for $25. For $25, and you know your boy Fred had to be there every chance he got. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And you talk about the time of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man! Oh, I was
amazing.
Oh my God.
Everything.
Yeah, Prince is that dude, man. Prince was that dude.
Yeah, he still is that dude. He will always be that dude.
You're absolutely right. Go ahead, DB.
No, a question that I always ask people, and my brother Reggie Owens, who loves you to death, but he asked this.
Hey, we might have to beam Reg in because he's going ham. Yeah, she about to get out of here, Reg.
I am. You kicking me out?
No, you can stay. No, you can stay.
I had a 4-hour bar to beat.
Shit. Well, I mean, if you send me your Addy, I can send you some more green juices and all that. Whatever. But yeah, go ahead, D. Because Reg is going in the chat, and I would love for him to holler at you. Is that okay?
People pop up. Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll let Reg. Yeah, Reg got to get a chance. But Earth, Wind, and Fire or the Isley Brothers?
Oh gosh, I can't wait for that versus. I am like scheduling my day around that versus.
It's a real versus?
I think it's a real versus, isn't it?
I don't know.
Were they joking? So many people have talked about it. I thought it was real. I thought it was on Versus page. I think it's real.
Oh, I think
it's actually. I think it's real, but it's on April Fool's. So now,
yeah.
Like, is it an extreme April Fool's joke? Nah, it's up here. Get your outfits ready, Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire this Easter Sunday.
Yeah, we're gonna have a barbershop. Barbershop is one of the most comfortable places in the world where you can kind of talk about and do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can actually sing here, and we wouldn't mind.
Well, the way singing works for me right now is when I'm with the Jam Nation that I jam with, is just collective group of instrumental, musicians that got together years ago on someone's couch, and it just kind of grew, and now it's too big for a couch and we do studios. But I really got comfortable in that environment. And for me, it's not about the act of singing. It's really about the process of letting music come through me and making up songs, that's what we do. So if you had like a band here and the timing worked, then that would probably happen. But I don't just have like songs in my head that I just sing. I don't really consider myself a singer. I can sing, but I really love songwriting and the process of music coming through you. I think when I interviewed Stevie Wonder, he said that he can feel the song come through him and he can almost imagine it forming, right? I mean, there's a connection to our creator that music absolutely is. I think that's why it moves us so much. It's why it's so universal. Like there is an innate connection to it that we all have. We all got different levels of it, but we all have it. And I can absolutely understand what he meant when he said that. Now that I've experienced it myself, it's addictive. And that's what I like. So now I don't just be like singing.
Because Fred used to do live concerts in the barbershop.
Oh yeah.
So you could actually be in the comfort of your own home and perform with the band of your choice.
That's smart.
Yeah, we do live concerts and I'm not bragging or anything, but I just bought my son a grand piano. He's gonna be doing concerts here too. Oh yeah. I'm building this platform just for him.
Wow.
Yes. Smart. For real.
Now.
Yeah, for real. By the way, Reggie Owens is here. He's been going.
Hi, Reggie.
He's been on Team Ananda Lewis ever since he was.
Oh my God.
Hi, Reggie.
What's up, Ananda? You are gorgeous as you always been since you appeared when I was a teen, thinking all type of beautiful things.
My genes are holding up well. I'm grateful.
Oh yes, yes, you
They're
are
gonna fail
blessed.
me one day though, so at least I know how to, build a house.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, we can build a house together. Let me help. Let me work with the remodels. But man, let me take over the show. We're gonna turn the lights off and light a candle up in here. Set the move.
Ain't like no candle with me up in here. I'll blow it out. I don't burn candle because of the butane. When you inhale the smoke, I'm telling you, it's a whole health thing. Like I don't burn candles in my house because of it. But I hear you though.
Oh Lord, what we gonna do? We're gonna do smokeless vegan candles. That's what we're gonna do.
I'll have to research those and see if they're still butane filled.
But oh man, I want to get into so many things, but they've been asking so many great questions. I've just been sitting here admiring your beauty, your intelligence. Ain't nothing greater than that. And salute to the other queens that's out here. But going into this thing, during this reign with the with BET, was it still under the Black ownership, or were you in there during the transition? And how did that go with the company?
I still owned it when I was there, as far as I know.
Right, right. And did any of the people see a difference in the transition from being a Black-owned network and when it switched over to, did one of the media giants own it or one of the Chinese conglomerates?
Viacom, right?
I don't know if Viacom's a Chinese conglomerate. I don't keep up with all that, but I don't think they are. I think Viacom owns it. I know Viacom owns it, and I don't think they're a Chinese conglomerate. But
okay, because I was hearing they was talking about some Asian billionaire or something ended up buying the company. And I was wondering about the changes. No, not Viacom. I guess someone else had brought it before. I don't know what happened. I was always hearing it was owned by Chinese or something like that.
I don't know. I got too much I got to worry about for myself to keep up with their business. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm worried about who's going to buy my joint in about. No. Yeah, I don't know. But I always felt like it was genuinely Black owned when I worked there. Yeah.
And then back to this thing about the trade tech thing. How was that entering that program and how were you treated? I know people was pressing you. I know you had to be pressed. So many people like me at that school.
I don't know. I have a really acute ability to hide myself and look like a boy when I want to. So I didn't have any problems in the beginning. It wasn't until later when I think like I had this headband thing on and I put my hat on because you had to wear, stuff that you could do construction in. And it wasn't until like I took that off one day, kind of accidentally, because it was hot, and I think one of my classmates saw me. But nobody was tripping; everybody was cool. It was like they were kind of surprised I was there, but I was the best student in the class. I'm gonna just give myself that. And I would take like all the notes. When I take notes, I take them in at least 4 or 5 different colors. Like I do colored pens. I do like I'm a really committed, good student. So even before they like knew it was me, they were asking to borrow my notes. I would help people with, you know what I mean? Like it was cool. So once they actually were like, oh, you're that chick from TV, then it was like, but you're really cool. So we don't care. They didn't pedestalize me, which I appreciated because I was there for a real experience and I got one.
Right.
Some of my classmates are dope people.
And see, I think that's so dope to see, a woman with grace, with beautiful look to go into a field like that. And you tend to not see that where a woman is using her hands, her mind to kind of, create and the process of building things. What has been some of your projects that you've worked on since obtaining the knowledge?
I'll tell you, but first let me say, I think one of the reasons that more women don't go into it is because of the boxes they could get put in exactly by that kind of thinking, not attacking you, just saying like all of our thinking needs to evolve, right? That
right.
Be looked at as something bigger than just how they look and and if they're nice and if they treat you good. Like that's a very small box. And if a girl grows up feeling encumbered by that box, it's like the elephant you tied to a stake in the ground as a baby. They grow up and never realize they can just pull that stake right out because you condition them to believe that they can only do this, right? That they have to be tied to that stake. And so we have to start letting young girls and boys, I think this is true for both of the sexes, but when we're talking about limitations in career paths that are traditionally dominated by men, now I'm talking about more women, right? But so I think young girls need to see women doing all that kind of stuff. And I think the way that you, our wonderful brothers, can help us is by not limiting us. Don't put those limitations on me. What does me being pretty have to do with me using a tool? Don't even use them in the same sentence anymore. Right? Because it becomes a limitation. Oh, if I'm pretty, I'm not supposed to be able to do this. And it then becomes something we have to mentally break out of, right? But don't put us in that to begin with, and then we never have to break out of it. Just a thought.
And then about the project. So what projects have you worked on since gaining the knowledge in that field?
I've built a bunch of tables. I built tables for this seamstress, what she uses in her shop. So like industrial tables. I built coffee tables for a friend of mine. I did a deck in the back of another friend's house who was having her fourth baby, and there was a hole in her old deck. And her husband was my assistant, and we did a barter thing. So she's an amazing chef, and I traded food because I don't like to cook. I can cook, but I don't like to. I traded food for doing the work on her. They bought all the materials, but like doing the work on her deck in the back of her house. And I did a full renovation on my mom's house. I did a lot of stuff. I have a bunch more plans, but right now my health is more in the forefront. And as soon as I kind of pass into an area where I feel like I'm good there, then I have some more construction projects I want to jump back on. And I can't do anything in the pandemic kind of lockdown stuff anyway. So as it eases, I'll be able to get back to that. But I would like to build communities for women and children to live in safely when they're on their own, single moms specifically, so that they can team together and create their own village, compounds for women and their children to live in. That's what I would like to do with all the property that exists in the world that's available.
That's beautiful. I'm talking about the work. I don't want to box you in. But that's beautiful stuff right there.
Oh, the beautiful stuff. Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. See,
yes.
You're a good listener. I appreciate it.
Oh, yes, indeed. But I ain't going to hold the line up. I had to beam in, at least talk to you from somebody who, I had a crush on for so long as a child.
Thank you for all that love. I'm glad I could be a part of your crushville.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Have a great day, hon.
Appreciate you, Big Reg.
DB, I'm going to answer your question. It's Isley Brothers because I am a huge Earth, Wind, and Fire fan, but Prince made me an Isley Brothers compilation CD himself. Like, he put it together, wrote out all the songs, and gave it to me one time. And I have a special place in my heart because of him for them.
You said Prince gave you?
Prince did, yeah.
So tell us some Prince stories then, if you can.
I will never tell Prince stories. I don't show up to Prince reunion. I don't. He was private. He don't want me telling his stories. I wouldn't tell them if he was here.
Public ones. He got some public ones?
No.
Did you sit in did you make a song with him? Did y'all write a song together?
Oh man, I wish I was open to my music back then. We would have had so much fun. No, I didn't. I was in the studio with him a few times, but I didn't do anything.
Prince is dead. Prince is dead.
And just as amazing in person as you believed him to be from a distance. He was
really
phenomenal up close. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you see a bunch of people.
Somebody in the newspaper wrote some article, some little blurb about us and the gossip thing, but there isn't a really public story I'm willing to share about him.
Are you ever going to write like a book or anything like that?
About that part of my life?
Just generally speaking.
Maybe a book on health. I think it's important for women to understand their options and what else exists in terms of treatment and, available stuff. I've done from pharmaceuticals to a little bit of chemo to mainly, I'd say 80% natural and alternative protocols to get my health back on track. And I didn't have someone like me that I could just go and see what they did. So I would like to put that together and share it with women, but I'm going to be doing that on my app anyway. Turning it into a book maybe gives me a wider audience to get it to, which is great. But I think when people are looking for stuff, they find it. So if they want it, it'll be there.
What's your favorite Prince song? We got Ant Fresh coming in. He want to say something to you. What's your favorite Prince song?
Adore.
Boom! There it is. Yeah. And the winner is Adore.
That first album, it had some bangers on it too. Soft and Wet used to be my
Soft and Wet. So I sing "You Must Be the Most Beautiful Girl in the World" to my daughter every day.
Aww.
Every day. We got Ant Fresh every morning.
How old is she?
She's 3. So I wake up.
That's even sweeter.
Yeah. We got Ant Fresh coming in. Ant Fresh, what's up, mate? This
Hey, what's going on? Hey, Ananda, how you doing?
and you got to echo. You got a double
I
sound.
got to echo. All right, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. Got to echo. Hold on.
How many devices is that? Because you have multiple devices on?
Yeah, probably do. So you know,
Cool. People can pop in and out of your format. I like that.
yeah. So we have a flagship show at 9 p.m. and we get thousands of people to come in at 9 p.m. every day. So we're building community on a no censorship platform.
Wow.
So that's why everyone. So when people come in and beam in, they feel like we all feel like we know each other.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's why. So everyone, you can say what you want, feel how you want, be who you want.
That's dope.
Yeah, whatever the case may be. But Team Summit.
Yeah.
I was thinking when I was doing as much research as I can. What would Team Summit? Who would be some of your guests on Team Summit 2021?
Common. Oh, Common was on back then. Chance. Probably. Kamala.
yeah, she would definitely.
Hope. Yeah.
You have to tell Kamala that Tupac is dead, though.
What? What you mean?
She said, "Who's the greatest rapper alive?" She said, "Tupac."
You get a lot of questions all day. She just didn't do the whole question.
I know.
You heard up until greatest.
I don't know what's worse.
Or alive.
She said she went to a Tupac concert in 2002 or something like that.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. And
What she had them confused with?
Nah, she was
nobody you can confuse.
She was trying to be cool. But I mean, I don't know what's Hillary Clinton had hot sauce in the bag. So, anyways, Aunt Fresh.
I respected the heck out of that.
You interviewed Hillary.
Mm-hmm. She had hot sauce in her bag of my interview, though.
Yeah, talk about that. How was that? How was pre-production, post-production, and interview with Hillary Clinton?
It was crazy. I mean, it was. She was the first lady at that time. She was in the book It Takes a Village. And it was crazy because it was such a big deal. I mean, we had everybody come through Teen Summit, right? But it was like our people, everybody, not to minimize it because it's not a minimization ball. It's just a more comfortable thing, right? And all of a sudden you have this person from the government come in. It was like everything. Plus the Secret Service came and checked out everything. So they had to look at the set and go behind, I mean, they were making sure she was safe. So it was a big ordeal. And at that time the whole time I worked at Teen Summit, I was a producer as well as one of the hosts, because that's how they hired me. And so I was doing production work as well, and which was a huge blessing. Like I learned so much. I learned editing there. I cut my own reel, the reel that I sent to MTV when they asked for one. I didn't have a reel. I didn't even know that was a thing, but somebody explained to me what it was, and I cut one together and sent it to them because I was a producer. I had learned how to edit. I knew how to use the edit bay. I knew how to splice tape, like all of these really amazing skills that still serve me today. I still know how to edit. Yes, the equipment has evolved, right? I'm editing in, Final Cut or iMovie, whatever it is, but I know how to do it because of what I learned there. So, and again, my mechanical mind, it was perfect for me. So I remember that being very stressful. And I remember like really being nervous to interview her. And I don't get nervous to talk to anybody. Like literally I've met everybody. So why am I nervous, right? Everybody's human. But that was nerve wracking. But I think it might've been all the stuff leading up to it that made me more nervous, because once I got out there with her, she was lovely and kind. And, I said a couple things and I could see her eyes be like, what's this bro talking about? But I don't remember what the things were. I mean, gosh, that memory is 20 something years old. So, but that's what I remember. I remember it being really cool, and a big deal for us. It was such a huge get. Right.
Aunt Fresh is in the building, DB. Aunt Fresh, what's up?
Aunt Fresh is back. What's up?
What's up with it, Ananda? How you feeling? How you doing? You are so beautiful, man. Like your work is immaculate. Like the way that you have done what you've done over the years is just amazing. I have just a couple questions for you though.
Wait, but I have a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
And stop.
Yes.
Good. I won't get into your business on that because you might actually answer me. It's nobody's business. But I'm going to have you do options or just basic stock trading?
Both.
Nice. I'm just getting into it. But okay. So I probably have some questions for you, but not in front of everybody. My next question is, have you heard that I put an app out and have you downloaded it?
I have not heard that you put that app out, and I will download it as soon as I get off of here.
Because if you're somebody who really liked, hanging out with me on TV back in the day, there's this show. So here's what it looks like. Here's what the beginning of it looks like. There's where when you first upload, that's what you scroll up to. And I'm going the opposite. Flashback fan mail is all the fan mail I got when I was at MTV. They held on to it. They didn't give it to me the whole time I was there. And when I left, I had 11 boxes of fan mail. They just handed to me. They were like, we've been holding these for you here. Never got to see them, never got to open them. So I'm opening all this fan mail 20 years later. And I think I want to try to track some of these people down and just, see who they are today, see how they've grown over 20-something years. So
that could be a whole show.
Yeah, no, it is a whole show. On my app. That's this show. There's one episode on there now, and I'm in the middle of editing my other episode, so it should be up there soon. But get it. This is what it looks like on the App Store. It's Elixir, this yellow one.
All right,
I see it. So, I'm definitely going to download that as soon as I get off here. My number one question is, when you met Michael Jackson, what was that like? I just have to know.
So I met Michael Jackson 3 times in my life. The first time I was 11 years old, and I was at I don't even know, it was like a bazaar, like not swap meet, because it was like a high-end swap meet, but like there were collectibles, and I don't even know what it was because I was so little. I was just there helping my aunt. She was making jewelry. I was helping man her kind of little booth, and we heard that everything was getting shut down because Michael Jackson was coming. And he was going to be there in like 30 minutes. So they cleared everybody out. Everybody else had to leave. It was just going to be him and security. So I was, I was excited, but I didn't know what it meant. I was like, Michael Jackson's going to come shop. Like, it was random to me because I was 11. So who knew? But I was a huge Michael Jackson fan at 11. And so I was like, okay, well, where is he? And we waited. It was like an hour passed, 2 hours passed. Michael Jackson didn't show up. So all of a sudden, I say to my aunt, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom. There's an old man walking with a bunch of people with him. Literally, it was like an old man. Michael Jackson had a mask on of an old white guy. And he walked past me. He said, hi, little girl. And he didn't say little girl. He said, hi. And I said, hi. And I just looked at him. He talked to me from behind the mask. And it kept going. Literally, I didn't meet him. I didn't be like, hello, my name. Just got to say, hey, because I was standing there outside the bathroom as they walked past, and there he went. First time I ever saw Michael Jackson in person in my life.
Wow.
Weirdest thing ever. But it makes sense, right? Because it's Michael Jackson. Did whatever he wanted to do. The next time was backstage at the awards show. I'm probably not going to remember. Was it the Grammys, maybe? American Music Awards. It was either the Grammys or the MTV Music Awards. Did he get an award from MTV Music Awards? Anyway, I had a fabulous dress on, and I was there reporting on it. So maybe it was after I left MTV. I can't remember all these details, but my dress was fly, and Mike was backstage because I was backstage doing something, and he was walking past me, and he looked at me and he said, I love that dress. And I went, thank you. Blushed. So I never really got to spend any time talking to Mike or anything, but we had these 2 little interactions. He noticed me and kept going twice.
Wow.
I don't think I met him the 3rd time. I didn't meet him 3 times. It was twice.
Just twice. I have a question about what was your most uncomfortable interview? And then I have a second part to that question. What was the most exciting interview? Meaning when you met that person, they were everything you would imagine them to be.
Lauryn Hill, but I didn't get to interview her. But when I met her, she was everything I thought she would be. I was so happy meeting Lauryn because her music was so important in my life. And I will say the same about Jill Scott. One of Jill Scott's songs literally saved my life, And when I met her, I was like, you don't know what you mean to me. I don't fan over people, but then, that music when it hits you, and then that's the person who created it, it just does something. And I was like, wow, thank you. I just wanted to let her know that her music shifted me. And that was true for both of them. But I got to be in the audience for Lauryn Hill's Unplugged album. So you'll hear me screaming in the back of that album.
Oh my God, wow.
Every time there's people, I'm like,
I remember that Sunday night like it was yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Watching it come on. Yep.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
It was amazing.
I planned my life around that.
Yep. Just like I'm about to do this verses.
Mr. Intentional. Mr.
Yes.
Intentional is my shit. Oh,
that's a beautiful song.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead, Ed Fresh.
And last but not least, will you marry me?
I don't mean to laugh at your request, but you don't even know me.
That's true, but I know
I'm extremely disappointed by only picking a wife based on how pretty she is or how beautiful you think she is, and not knowing whether or not she's going to take good care of you and, you know, be the kind of wife you should want as a man and be a partner. So no, I can't marry you.
And in closing, I just want to tell you, you are flawless to me. I really appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing and keep elevating. I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much.
I'll see you on the stock market. Thank you so much. I appreciate all those lovely words. I feel like I've received flowers. They're a beautiful bouquet. Beautiful. Thank you. Brick City Soto. Now I know where to look when the thing pops up. Damn, I missed my training session, but this is well worth it. What's a training session?
A workout. He's in Brick City. Brick City, ma. Brick City. You know, cross the water, cross the bridge, under the tunnel. You know, all that good stuff.
No, actually,
a trainer too.
When Most was crushing on Halle Berry and Janet Jackson. Oh, I was on Ananda Lewis. Thank you. You know what's funny is that opening this fan mail, the 3 pieces that I've opened so far. 2 of them were like, I don't want to call them stalkers. That's a strong word, but they were really, one of them was like, this is my 7th letter to you. And the other one was like, listen, this part of our relationship is going to be amazing. I love you so much. And like, there's a lot, it's interesting to me, right? It's on one level, on one side of it, I value and appreciate the fact that anybody would spend the amount of time it takes to write a handwritten letter. These are all snail mail letters, right? This ain't Gmail. This is, I went to the post office, I got stamps, I wrote a letter, I put your name and address on it, I put it in the mailbox. That's a lot of effort. And I'm grateful for that amount of kind of energy coming in, right? So you have a bunch of energy coming in, you can receive it and do whatever you want with it. That's a benefit. So that love, that fanship, that adoration, whatever you want to call it, is all a benefit to me. And I receive it as that. I'm grateful for that part of it. There's a line that gets crossed for me as just a human being, person on the planet, and a solo individual that gets scary, right? That gets like, do I need to be concerned? Are you good? I've had people show up at my door. This is back at MTV. I had people show up at my door because I got a FedEx package and they didn't think to put a different name on it. They just sent it to Ananda Lewis, and the FedEx driver's friend was a fan. And the next thing I knew, his friend was at my door. So things were happening at that time that I didn't, you know, that made me feel really unsafe. And what's funny opening this fan mail is that I never received it. I think I would have been even more scared had I seen it at the time. I'd be like, oh my God, like all these people are coming after me. But I didn't see it. But now looking back on it, I'm like, I had no idea. You know what I mean? I really had no idea. And I don't know. It's a trip. You can really be in something and have no clue of what's going on around you. And that trips me out.
You were literally having a conversation with a handful of million kids every day. Or young adults, every night, every midday.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a
big deal.
Oh, that's a huge deal. Do you have a license to carry, by the way?
Yes.
I figured you would. Carpentry and.
Oh, wait, a license to carry, like carry out in the street? No, but I do have a gun license. I have a license.
Well, you live in California, so you live in California, right?
I have as much as I can have in California.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's only a misdemeanor if you're carrying it, though. Just so you know.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I don't take no chances. I'm just saying it's only a misdemeanor. You know what I mean? But anyways, we got.
Listen, self-defense.
Yeah. You got a Deacon. You got someone else who want to be in. Deacon 305. What's up? We call him Pastor Usher Deacon 305.
Deacon, why can't I see you, Deacon?
Hey, too blessed to be stressed and highly favored. How y'all doing?
Turn your camera on.
It's on right now, baby.
No, it's not.
It's on right now.
You just in the dark? You sitting in the dark?
Absolutely not.
Why can't we see then?
And again, forgive me. I have no clue, but I'm calling in for respect and support. But I didn't do any research. Can you give me an update about you? I don't know anything about you. Seriously.
Love that. Well, here's my version of
This
me.
is the most honest show in the world.
I'm a mom and I'm a carpenter, and I have goals of building homes for single moms and their kids all around the country.
Hey, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I hope you can get it. As a matter of fact, if you believe it, it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe it, and I see the need for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions, since I don't know too much.
I need you to turn your phone on, like your camera on, because I can't see you. I don't know why I can't see you.
Well, baby, I can't do that.
Why?
Because I haven't did it for anyone.
Oh, you just don't do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now
Well,
you don't.
It was on. I thought it was just not working. Okay, go ahead. I can respect your personal space.
What do you? What's your? How you feel about how the last election went down and the insurrection going on at the Capitol, and just the current what's going on in this current day, past and present?
I don't get too much into politics and talking about them, but I will say this. I think that we are experiencing right now as a nation the contractions of birthing something new. And as a woman who has given birth naturally at home, and I know what every contraction felt like, that can be painful, that can be scary, and that can bring up things that, need to get pushed out. And I think we're living in a time where we're experiencing that, and all this upheaval and all this craziness is getting itself out of the way to lead into something beautiful and much more like what we deserve to live in and what we believe we should be living in. So I think there will be more of it, but I think, the flopping of a dying fish on the deck, it flops around and then it ends. And so I think once everything settles down, we're going to be living in a much more beautiful country that's closer to what we all know and believe we have the potential to become.
Okay, what do you say to the people who would not agree with your point you just made, because the suffering and the atrocities that Black folks has been going through from century after century, decade after decade, nothing seems to really change drastically. They just don't see that vision of, some people really don't even have hope right at this moment. I'm not speaking for myself, but it's sad and it's painful because I love my people. And when you see us suffering like that, and you almost in a helpless state where you want to help so many people. That's why I actually love what you just said, that you see the need to help people. And I hope it's our people you're talking about, because we're the most needy. And like I said to Fred the other night, I had a vision. It's not that if we was on building our own vehicles, do you know how many Black people we can employ if we was to have our own company? And God knows we're very stylish people. If we can imagine if we brought out, yes, if we was to bring out our own vehicles and stuff, I mean, just creating our own destiny. I mean, and
honestly, Deacon, I agree with you, and I know that a lot of people who are suffering, and I all of that is true. But our people have been through way worse in this country. We didn't live through it. What we have survived tells me all I need to know about if we can survive this. This is nothing compared to what our ancestors went through on these in this country. Nothing. It's nothing. And I think we need to kind of, stop being as sensitive as all these other people are getting around us and be like, no, we can do things. Like, I'm not waiting for somebody to do something for me. Our people shouldn't wait for anybody to do anything for us. And there's plenty of us out here showing other people the way. We have to get proactive. Like I said before, that macro vision always focuses down to an individual. You can talk about our people collectively, but really we're talking about individuals. And individually, we all need to take our own personal responsibility very seriously. If you don't know how to do something, you got the internet now. I don't feel sorry for nobody. There's nothing you can't find on the internet. If you want to learn it, you can learn it. If you're not learning it, it's because you don't really want to learn it. Nobody's standing in the way but you for those kind of things. I understand we have this collective racism issue that we have always faced and dealt with. And I think that There are things we are also seeing our people do to eradicate that. And we all have kind of different roles we play in all these different ways, right? We need to embrace all those different roles. Don't expect this person to do what this person's doing. They're doing different things, but it's all leading to the same place. There's some wonderful, wonderful young Black men showing the way for investments. Like, money is freedom. I don't care what nobody says. As soon as you get some money, color becomes less of an issue because you can buy your way out. Green is a universal color. I won't be green. That's what I want to be. And EYL, they do this thing, Market Mondays, Earn Your Leisure is the name of the group. They have an amazing group of men that are just giving free information. So when I hear people say, I don't know how to invest in the stock market, I don't know, all of that is excuses. If you really want to do something, you're going to go find out how to do it. That part is on you. Until you do that, don't look for nobody else to rescue you. You rescue you, and then talk to me about what help you need after that. Because I think a lot of people, not just our people, but a lot of people get in that position where they're like, well, somebody has to do something for me for something to happen. The hell? No, they don't. You're the only one that can make it happen. Even if it's you asking that person for help, you still have to do that. Nobody's going to sense your needs psychically and fill them. That's ridiculous. That's not even what life is about in general, right? We are here to have an experience. You get to choose what that experience is going to be, and you get to create that experience with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Period. Everybody's reality boils down to that. No matter what color, no matter where you live, everybody's reality boils down to that. Then you have things that get in the way and blocks and things and, you know, things to overcome, hurdles and whatnot. Yeah, okay, all those things are very real, not taken away from them. But those hurdles become a lot easier when you're doing your part to jump them and not just expecting someone to move the hurdle. The hurdle may never move. What you gonna do? You gonna jump, or you gonna sit behind the hurdle and wait for somebody to come move it? I'm just going to probably kick it over and keep it moving. And that's what our people have done since 1619. Literally, every chance we got, we were, you know, grating up glass into food. We had rebels for real. And we had people that just played their position and survived it. So don't expect all of us to act the same. Just because we're all people doesn't mean we're all the same people. Right? We all have different ways we're going to interact with it. I would say to you, find a way that you individually, since we're talking about individual responsibility, can help go out there and educate the young people you're talking about. If you know somebody who's sad and depressed at their situation, go have a conversation with them with your mask on, but go have a conversation. Go do your part to help them. And you will stop focusing so much on the greater issues that are in hand that aren't really going to go away quickly. And you'll start being able to see the individual progress you can make towards those collective goals.
Absolutely. Now, I totally agree with everything you just said, but there's also a sad truth. Say it again.
It's okay if you don't too, but go ahead. I'm just being funny.
Yeah. There's also a sad reality that goes along with everything that you just said, that Black folk deal with. Okay, prime example, I'm going to say something real quick and then get to my other point. Even when I was taking babies and taking them off the streets, and I had a little makeshift gym, and I would train the kids to box. I was preparing them, but also I had a different thing I was doing as well. I was doing a lot of things, but I was also trying to awaken the Black man's mind, not just the Black man, the Black woman, from a dead level of thinking to a living level of thinking. So all of a sudden, I look up, I got about 50 cops out in front of my house with assault rifles and everything. They say I was down there teaching hate. I say, well, won't y'all just sit in and listen to what I'm talking about? So they sent one of the leaders of the community to come talk to me. And he sat down and he talked. He said, man, I apologize. These folks came talking about you was teaching hate, trying to start a war or something. They was getting a lot of bull crap. Yeah. But so I do work with our people as much as I can, right? I do what I can, but it hurts me because it's bigger than this problem is so huge. There are systems in place to keep our people from getting small businesses loan, even though the money's there. The money is there for us. But there's other groups of people who are manipulating the system and draining the system where we don't even get a portion. We don't even get 1% of that money. And this has been going on even up under Barack Obama. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are owed not a hand out, but a hand up.
I agree with
Because
that.
we are willing to do the work.
Right.
We've been working all our lives.
Yeah.
But when you are constantly have to fight against
gotta say amen.
all of these different obstacles,
you gotta say amen.
It's a little bit more harder for us. Not saying that, listen, we don't mind the fight. But look at what they're doing right now. They're trying to, the Republicans doing everything they can to make sure the next go around that you and I would have a tougher time voting. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is by design because they fear losing power because that power that they have, it controls a group of people. That is supremacy, right? They don't have to have the biggest muscles. They don't have to fight the best. They beat you with the mind and the pen.
Yeah.
Well,
so we have to.
Amen. I hear you.
Amen.
I don't know that there's anything we can collectively do about that right now. And again, although it is real, focusing on it when you don't have any power to improve it in any, in any real way without this kind of collective effort, I don't know if that's a good use of your energy. I think that acknowledge the problem is there. When it comes to your doorstep, obviously you have to deal with it, but continue to do the things that, even the Republican Party, even these massive collectives, even all the power you're talking about comes down to individuals. All of those things, groups, whatever, are made up of individuals. The police force is made up of individuals. And I think when we talk about racist cops and people who are coming against us, we tend to do this umbrella, right? And we know it's not all cops, but if the individuals in there that aren't like that, aren't saying anything to the people that are, then we have a problem with those individuals too, because they need to have checks and balances. We all need to have checks and balances, right? And
absolutely.
I think that you just have to keep going forward. You have to do what our people have always done and handle. Charity begins at home. Handle what's on your plate. Eat what's on your plate.
Okay, but before I go, I don't want to. Before I go, I don't want to interrupt you. But before I go, because I know I can feel Fred's hand on my shoulder.
Oh, it's coming. It's definitely coming, nigga.
Yeah, but when you talk about
that was
my bad. The atrocities that happened back in the day that they had it worse. Well, the people who are dying on the streets with knees on their necks, bullets in their back, happens to disagree. Their families, right? Mm-hmm. This is a modern time that we're living in comparison to that time. That's dated back there, right? Yeah. They had a different way of doing it. They don't walk around or ride around on horseback and capes. They got a suit and tie and a pen, right? And they allow these people to do what they're doing by legislating these laws that will allow them to murder us in these streets and get away with it. We have to sit down and watch it on national television, watch the life leave out of one of our brothers. Listen, he was alive,
the most horrific things I've ever seen,
screaming for his mother.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man. Listen what I'm saying. Tears was rolling down my face.
Mine too. All I could think of was my son when he was yelling for his mother.
Tamir Rice, 12 years old. You pulled up and in 3 seconds, he's dead. But all of these white men are doing these mass shootings. You're taking them to Burger King and forget that part. All of them are walking calmly to the police car. And you found a way. You found a way to shoot the last shooter in the leg. You did not try to shoot him fatally, but when it comes to black folks, it's always fatal.
You know
what I'm saying? At the supermarket there. What the King's?
Yeah, he was a Syrian refugee. He wasn't a white American male, but yeah.
Yeah, listen, they can shoot him in the leg, right? Yeah. And subdue him, take him to jail, but that is not the case with black folks. You shoot to kill, unarmed, without a weapon.
Appreciate you, Deacon.
I think legislation definitely needs to be changed. As you know, Deacon, that's a process. I wish we could snap our fingers and make it different. We can't. What we can do is educate our children better. I have conversations with my son about interacting with the police in a specific way. A lot. I use Tamir Rice's story as one of the incidents that I tell him about when having those conversations. And I don't have the answers to the wider issues, but I think that some of the answers are being addressed by groups like Black Lives Matter, by groups that are hitting hard on the legislation front, by putting our people in these offices more, like we've done with Kamala Harris, like we've done in a lot of places around the country, where we've put our people in place, hoping that they will have our best interests at heart. Those are the kind of ways that we start to infiltrate this system better and make it work for us.
Right.
Us.
Right. There you go. That's
force.
why. Yeah, that's the point I wanted you to make right there, because we cannot sleep on what
Deacon,
I'm
Deacon
out of here.
305.
This is
305.
serious.
We appreciate you calling in.
Listen.
We can't have 20 minutes of this, man. We appreciate you calling in, though, man. Yeah.
Fred,
we appreciate you, Deacon 305. We appreciate you, brother.
Hey, listen, I love you, Queen. I love you, King.
Thank you for calling.
Hey, absolutely. Salute to the chat. Blessings out.
Peace, man. We'll be back in a couple hours. You can talk as long as you want.
How about let's kick off. Boxing, Reggie's still over here talking.
Yeah, Reggie,
you sound like you should be my wife talking like this. I am not. I can't. Anyway. Oh.
You mentioned Lauryn Hill. Oh, DB. Sorry, go ahead, DB.
Hey, I'm here.
Hi. I hosted the show.
You know, there's church going on, and you got to sit up and in the back, and there's
yes.
no up there, and it get warm. Yeah, I was up there. Yeah. And you pretend like you got to go to the bathroom so you don't fall asleep. You know, you just go to the bathroom just so you can do some
blood circulating in your legs. You be like, woo. You go from the back.
Yeah, damn. You know.
But
no, it's good. We have passionate people.
Stomach.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, we get it in. But we always have like see, when I'm on by my show by myself, sometimes every night, we can talk as long as we want. So they can go and talk for 20 minutes or whatever they want. But when the guest is on, it's like, we got to get to the next person. You know. So anyways, go ahead, DB.
Yeah. What the hell was I saying? Anyway, my brother Kenlon Jones asked the question. He said, were you at the 96 Source Awards when the Death Row and Bad Boy beef and all of that?
Oh my gosh, I was.
Oh, were you?
I don't remember it very well. Yeah, I don't remember it very well, though. I remember running out of there, and I don't remember what it was about. I never really got into like the details of the beefs, but I remember running. I do remember that.
Do you got love for Death Row?
How was the climbing in there, though?
I have love for everybody. You know, I'm understanding of all people. I'm a neutralist and a naturalist.
Go ahead, DB. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said, how was the climbing in there? Like, you know, with all the tension and whatnot.
Oh, there's a lot of tension, definitely. But you know, if you didn't know what was going on, you didn't really. I don't know. I didn't know that there was a beef, and clearly, you know, whenever something like that happens, it's a surprise. You don't know what's coming, or you'd be somewhere else. So the tension definitely was real before that, but I really just thought it was like, I mean, it was the Source Awards. It was like the energy in the Source Awards is different than at the Grammys. You know what I mean? It's different than at the VMAs. So I just felt like this is the energy here until the fight broke out.
Yeah. And, you know, being a part of the hip hop community, how did Nipsey's death affect you?
Oh, you know, what's funny is I had been out of kind of the environment of the entertainment field for so long before that. I had heard Nipsey's music, knew what he was doing in the community, was a fan on that level, like, you know, just admired him from a distance. But I wasn't entrenched enough in it to really feel the effects of it from inside of it. I felt the effects of it from the outside of it as a person who lives, you know, in LA. And I remember being really, really sad and disappointed, like incredibly sad that it was one of our own. And yet imagine how much more intense things would have gotten had it been like like a cop or a situation, you know, that we've been back to back these situations. If that had happened and it was Nipsey, I think the whole city would have exploded. But you know, I think it's always first of all, I think any loss of life is unfortunate, but when it's somebody as important and as committed to the movement forward of our people as Nipsey Hussle was, I think it's devastating. And for his wife and his kids, and I mean, the whole thing is just horrible. But I didn't feel it from a hip hop community perspective. Just, you know, it would have been different if it happened. I felt Tupac's death from that perspective. And I remember being on calls and stuff like, oh my God, like hearing that just happening and the word spreading because we didn't have all the texts and the social media. So it was kind of word of mouth, you know? And then when it hit the news, like I remember that really, really clearly. And so I had friends in it still. And that was a different experience. But I just, again, like with Aaliyah, I wish we could have seen what else Nipsey Hussle was about to do, because it sounded like he was about to really get it in.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Really make some stuff happen. And I hope that there's more people who will pick up that kind of torch and carry it, because the land ownership part of it that he was really tapping into, so vital. It's so vital. It's so vital.
Yeah. And speaking of that, the next one I was getting to was, I know Kobe was doing interviews since, you know, 95, 96, and being the greatest basketball player of all time, an icon or whatever. But did you ever get a chance to meet Kobe?
Yes, I interviewed Kobe when Teen Summit started doing the Off the Hooks. Do you remember that? When we were live every week, and then we started doing shows where we would go somewhere and interview people, and it wasn't live, but it would get edited, and then we would have a show. It was right before we started going live every day. I think it was Off the Hook, and we did. Common was on Off the Hook, and Kobe, when he was playing the McDonald's All-Star Classic, I believe that year,
was senior year in high school. Yeah.
He was on there. So I remember the show was great, you know, blah, blah, blah. It was the whole special on him. It was really dope, which I wish I could find on tape somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. It's probably in storage. Kobe, me, Dejour, Fran, and one other person, I can't remember who it was. I think it was another guy, were after the interview in a room. I don't know whose room it was. We were all sitting there together, and Kobe was talking about maybe skipping college and going to the NBA. And I said, I just told you I don't tell these stories, but I wasn't like personal friends with him. I don't think he would care. Like, I don't know that he would care. Like, it was my personal friends and I know it would matter, I don't do it. But I wasn't like close friends with Kobe. I just, you know, knew him from work. And this actually happened in a group of people. So he was talking about that, and we were all saying different things. And I was like, you know, Kobe, I've been to college, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you can always come back to college. Colleges ain't going nowhere. Like, go get your money. Right. And he was like, that's what everybody keeps telling me. So anyway, I remember having those conversations and then just watching his rise, you know, when he made that decision, and it's like unbelievable. Another magnificent bright star in the sky that was taken too soon. So I don't know. I think overall, what all the losses, you know, we've seen acutely over the last 5 years is just really, really nailed it home that life is short. You don't know what's going to happen. You might not get to do anything else, you know? So what are you doing today? What are you doing right now? How are you using your time? It's so important. It's so important. Time is the one thing you will never get back. And so wasting it is just a huge mistake. If you're not going for your goals, what are you doing? Because even if you don't get to live a full life, you know, if your life gets cut short, like all the people we're talking about right now, look what they did with the time that they had. The reason we're even talking about them is because they maximized their time. I mean, Kobe with the Mamba mentality is a perfect example. He didn't waste any time, right? So as horrible and sad and devastating as it is that he was taken from us so soon, and really from his family so soon, because they're the ones that really matter when it comes to losing him, right? But his fans and stuff so soon too. The fact that he used his time so well and inspired so many people and motivated so many people and didn't let a minute go by where he wasn't, you know, using it wisely and grateful, I'm sure. It just reminds you, none of it's guaranteed. Nothing. And no one owes you anything. Period. So live like that. Like, live like it's up to you. Because it is.
DB?
Yeah, so you answered the Prince question. What's your favorite Isley Brothers song?
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, for the love of you. Is that what it's called?
Living for I can't sing, but I sing to him all the time. For the love, and I'm off tune though. I'm living. Someone, DB, help me out, man. You supposed to be.
Wait, you sing Adore to your child? Is this how you sing Adore to your child?
She don't, but she doesn't know.
Play the song for the girl so she knows what key it's in. Is all I'm asking. So she knows the actual song, what it sounds like.
Oh, she thinks Dad's the best singer in the world, though. You know how kids think about their parents. You know what I mean? I can do no wrong. So what does Lauryn Hill, that album, right? That album. What you was at the live, which I thought was the best unplugged. Jay-Z was probably a second. I don't know. Jaguar Wright went off on that one. Jaguar Wright, her background.
Oh, the guy who was
No, the girl, Jaguar Wright on Jay-Z. On the album? No, on Jaguar Wright sung background on Jay-Z's Unplugged.
Oh,
I don't know if you were there. I don't know if you were there.
Oh yeah, wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, I wasn't at that one.
Okay, but that Lauryn Hill, man,
she's phenomenal. You guys, I just got a notification at 6:08. I'm supposed to be in a clubhouse right now for the salute to the women of BT. Have you heard about this?
No, but we appreciate you coming in. We genuinely appreciate you coming in this evening.
I actually could have like 2 more hours. I'm going for the record. I want the record.
Everybody wants the record. I ain't lying. Tyson Fury. Sugar Hill. Are you a boxing fan at all?
I mean, I like to fight.
Do you do boxing training?
My son does.
I got a gym you can go to in Westwood.
Oh, really?
For free. Free.
Well, email me that when we're done.
For free. I'll definitely email it to you for free. It's on me. If it costs, I'll pay for it.
Oh,
you should go there. And, it'll be. Say it again, please.
As a gift to my child. Is it for kids?
Yeah, for kids too. Yeah. I got a gym, and I'll PPD email you everything, and
I just put it in your DM right now.
Yeah, we'll make sure. Yeah, if you want to take your son, totally not a problem. And but who do you like in boxing?
That's a tough question, because I guess as much as I like to watch the fights, I don't know the fighters that well. It's not really about who's fighting, but what the fight is. So I don't know. I mean, I could say the greats. I've met a lot of the greats. They're cool people, but like right now, I'm not sure who's in boxing. Okay. I like MMA a lot too, and I don't know the names of those fighters either.
Right.
They're amazing.
Right.
All right. I'm not too big into sports, and my time is real limited for TV, so I haven't really seen a lot of it recently.
Okay. What's the biggest events you've been to? And you're like, man, I just wanted to go. All-Star game.
Okay. Oh yeah. I never really wanted to go to big events. I'm not good in big crowds. I get real weird. Like it always just seemed like a bad place to find yourself in the middle of a huge crowd.
If you like to fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't like to run and be trampled either. And I've always seen big crowds as like, if all these people are running at you, it's a problem. So when I'm in big crowds, I always stay on the perimeter. I look at the exits when I first walk in. I always know how to get out. Like I'm one of those people who's like, the biggest crowds.
That's probably act like just being black though.
Yeah.
Because I was in Chicago Sunday. I'm gonna tell you a story. I was in Chicago Sunday. While you think about the best place you've been. I was in Chicago. I was only there for a day, right? And I was downtown Chicago, and I went and bought one of the Mexican soda pops. Because I had to walk the street by myself. It's just being black. That's all it is. It's just being black. You know what I mean? Just growing up in trauma areas.
Yeah.
Because I only know Chicago through Instagram, Twitter, and all that. And I'm like, I'm in the city by myself, just in case, But yeah, the best place you've been. I mean, and the best country, best city, best sporting event, all that good stuff.
So the biggest crowd I've been in was Woodstock 99. It was like 500,000 people. The best country I've been to. I had a lot of fun in Djibouti. It's the smallest country in Africa, and it's right on the east kind of curve right there by Ethiopia.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. But I was there during Ramadan, so I observe the Ramadan rules. But Kenya was also beautiful. I love islands. When I vacation, I want to be on a beach and some heat. That's what I'm trying to be. I love Trinidad and Tobago, love Jamaica, love the Bahamas. We spent all summer there with MTV in '99. What were the other best?
Sporting, but it's okay. DB, no big deal. DB.
I couldn't answer this.
No, I like those. I like those.
She got to get out of here,
East Africa. East Africa around the Horn. That made me excited right now that she was in Djibouti. So I just want to let the people know a few more things about you real quick, and I'll ask you fast: tacos or burritos?
Ooh, oh, that's a rough one. I'm a Mexican food lover. Tacos.
Tacos. Beach night or park in the day?
Beach night.
Beach night. Radio or TV?
TV.
Los Angeles or LA?
LA.
Good. Because there's no other places that we'd rather be.
He did say Los Angeles or LA though.
I know he did, but I was about to say LA no matter what he said next. It was like LA. What you talking about?
Yeah. You know, some people just have a calming spirit. I was just wondering if you do you pray, do you meditate, and how do you overcome stress or depression?
I pray, I meditate, all of the above. I sit with stones because they have amazing amounts of energy. Just the frequency they vibrate at is amazing. And so you can receive that. I do yoga. I've done Qigong. I do saunas. I cuss people out, like whatever relieves stress.
Yeah, you got that homegirl energy too.
Yeah.
And
That's a great stress reliever, but that's just a side note.
And
as long as it's two willing participants.
Yeah, that too. Maybe 3. If I got Patty Pilates. If you need Pilates, I got to hook up on Pilates too.
Ooh, I really want to try Pilates. That'd be
if you need Pilates, PPD is sitting after you. So you got the gym for your son. You got Pilates for you. You got all that good stuff. So in the meantime and in your free time, feel free to check that out. And it was a totally pleasure to have you on. And next time you got to break. Next time, you got to come at the 9 o'clock hour. It'd be thousands.
9 o'clock hour.
The 9 o'clock hour be thousands. We can rock out, have a great time. And if you want to break the record and bring in a new day, we're more than welcome to do that too.
And I'm a night owl, so I'm down. I can do that.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so then we'll schedule part 2 soon.
Yeah, we'll schedule part 2 soon. Thank you.
Amazing, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Bye, DB. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Thank you for all those parting gifts. I appreciate it.
Who's
watching. I love you guys.
It's all from us. It's all
from my app too.
Yeah, for sure.
I've never had anything to promote, so now I'm like, I'm promoting.
At the night show, we're gonna do a group download.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll do a group download tonight.
Okay.
Well, we got a little flip on tonight, so it'll be more thousands of people in there tomorrow. So we'll do a group download for
Let
you.
me come in tomorrow. Send me an invite for tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. You want to come in? You know, little flip?
No.
Okay. Well, come in tomorrow.
You said you're doing a flip night. I thought that was like a thing.
No. So the rapper Lil Flip is coming on tomorrow. And so it'll be more people in at 9 o'clock, and we'll do a group download for you for sure.
I love you so much for that.
No, done that. Easy. And DB's gonna remind me. So
thank you. Because my subscription service is how I'm getting, starting to raise the money to help give women these packages. So I really appreciate all that stuff.
And if you ever want to build a home, let me know. I'm dead ass.
I'll let you know when I start building these homes, when I'm all the way better and I can get back down to my property and put these homes on. I have the space to do it. So it's going to happen eventually.
I got some space if you want to build some homes, you know what I mean? So
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
That too.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All the time.
Peace.
That was
bye.
Peace. That was fun.
Man, she said a flip night. I'm like, hey, a flip night in LA.
Yeah. No, we do backflips on mattresses and shit like that too. We do backflips, you know what I mean? Shit, we do. Yeah, man. That was fun, man. Hey, we make people feel like home in this motherfucker, DB. You do a hell of a job, brother. But it all starts.
I'm following your lead. Bro.
Yeah, but it all starts with PPD. You know what I mean? She's so hospitable. You know what I mean? She wanted to stay 4 hours, man. Hey, you better tell John Carlos he got some competition. Shit.
Hey, he's down. You remember what he said? He said, "Shit, if when he in LA, he said, shit, his answers don't got to be short.
Yeah.
If a 25-minute answer is a short answer, we gonna be in for a long night. I'm down for it though.
Facts, man. Facts,
Yeah,
man.
I'm down for it. Yeah, this was good.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I used to, and I ain't. Oh, this chick that I used to date anyway. She's kind of industry chick or whatever, but she used to hate when people used to tell her that she was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a big thing for her. Like it would drive her crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like that, you know, you got this face that people just not used to seeing every day. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And and on top of that, you know, she was the one of the Noxzema girls. You know what I'm saying? So like her face was flawless, right? I mean, in terms of like, you know, the skin tone, all of that stuff. But she hated when people called her pretty because she was, you know, she had a master's degree. You know what I mean? She was an engineer, like all of these different things. So she had heard that all of her childhood. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. So sometimes these women, they want to be recognized for their substance. That's a part of what I was saying last night. Everybody not concerned about being told like you fire or you bomb or you beautiful and all of that. Yeah, they didn't heard that shit all the time. You know, they wanted somebody to be like, damn, I like your substance. You know, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this shit got me feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? Had a plant-based girl on and shit. I had apples and oranges and shit chopped up. I was eating while y'all was cooking. I'm like, yeah, this is good. I feel good. And she went to Djibouti. She went to, you know where Djibouti is? That's a little bitty ass country, like by Ethiopia, Eritrea, like all the way on the.
I know where it's at now. I can picture it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah.
So for somebody to go there, like it was intentional, you know, and it wasn't by accident. And I mean, that's the cradle of civilization right there. You know what I'm saying? So I love whenever I hear any women say that, like that. Man, that's big for me because, you know, you ask women now, man, especially between the ages, I don't know, 25 and 35, they'll all be like they want to go to Greece and Italy and all of these Italian places they have no connection to. So when somebody tell me they want to go back to the motherland, and specifically East Africa, yeah, that makes me smile. But anyway, man, this is good, bro.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, we back at it?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, man. We could play the song for 13 seconds, man. Just
all right, man. Let's get some love to the family, man. Some people that was in here. J.A. Dixon, get some love. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. Salute to Reggie O. Eli Zachary, Sir Eli. Opulent LD, my brother. Damon Walker in the building. Mike Jones.
Who?
Come on, bro.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
You got Reese Bruh in the building.
Mike Jones had homosexual tendencies on this show, though. He looking at my energy, and the most beautiful girl in the world is here. Oh man, that's a homosexual tendencies right there, Mike Jones. Man, focus on the guest, man. Focus on the guest. Hey, why he trying to show out for the girl? Who cares? Why he this? Why he that? Focus on Ananda, nigga. Focus on Ananda, nigga.
I'm glad Reg was the first one to be, man, because he know how to set the tone. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
But Ann Fresh made a special guest appearance today. We ain't seen Ann Fresh all year. He said, Ananda on here? Shit, I'm dropping everything. I'm gonna be there. Shout out to my man, Ann Fresh.
I got weird energy.
Yeah. Kidla Jones, my bro KJ. And shout out to all of the queens, man, all the sisters in the building. Of course, starting with the leading lady, the empress, the queen, the god, Patty Dean, the queen, and then TT. And we had, did I see Patricia Shelton slide in here for a minute? I'm not sure, but always first.
Yeah, we'll assume yes.
Love is the word. Love is the word. Yeah, shout out to all of y'all, man. Hopefully I don't forget nobody. Anthony Nelson, I see you in there. Let me see. Ask her. Reggie, vegan. Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
DOGG 215. He said, man, I'm at work and I had to have it on mute and had a volume down. He said, I'm just reading the chat. Shout out to my cousin Aeon Jack that slid in the building with you.
Man. He said I was started avoiding old school. Well, that's your bad. That's your bad. You know what I mean? You got to focus on your frequency levels. You got to focus, man. You got to really focus on that. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. Nothing gets in the way of me and whatever I want or whatever. You know what I mean? Shit.
Better quit eating that meat that's fucking up your focus, man. Everything. Moyo Sauce, Jermaine Callahan, Cousin, what up? Brick City Soto, missed that workout to be here, man. We appreciate you. Appreciate everybody with the super chats. Matrix R, AB415, Jay Dixon. Yes, indeed. And damn, who did I just see that just jumped on me? It was two more names in there. It was two more. Richard Bartley. What up, Rich? And it was one more. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? My shit jumping. I was jumping like a motherfucker when it's about 11 o'clock. Hey, bring the camera, Nick. Fly High. Salute to my brother Fly High. Yes, indeed. But, man, hopefully we didn't miss nobody. But if we did, we'll catch y'all at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, midnight on the East Coast. Other than that, man, y'all get some rest, man. Eat something healthy in the meantime. And play the song, Fred.
I got you, man. I appreciate y'all coming out, man. See y'all tonight, man. Hey, you call your grandma real quick.
Grandmama. Then I go hating on Al again.
Oh, I'm hating on Al tonight. So if y'all want some Al Heyman sauce, tonight is the night. Like, I'm applying that pressure. Tonight. You know what I mean?
The great agitator.
I'm applying that pressure tonight. Tonight. If you love Al Heyman, you might want to be in here. I'm applying that pressure because ain't no reason why we can't have a fight Juneteenth. There's no reason at all. Got the best fight in the world that lives in Texas. He just moved his whole fucking fight plans to adhere to the Mexican fan base. Why not us? And I don't want to hear none of y'all. No, I want to hear y'all crying and complain and say Al Heyman is the you know, whoever he is in your life, you know. But yeah,
Al Heyman is the GOAT.
Yeah, he could be. Still could be held accountable. Hey, I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey,
where you at?
Hey. He froze it. Fred on the hater train. Yep. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna see if I can. I don't got enough energy for Bob tonight. I'm exhausted. I'll call him and see if he want to come on. Damn. I really don't.
Hey, Lil Flip is tonight. I thought that was tomorrow.
Lil Flip is tomorrow.
Yeah, you said tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get Bob on tonight. I'm gonna call him, see if he got time at 9. We'll see. You know, we'll rock out. I'll hit him up. I wasn't even thinking about that, but I am going to ask him about it because guess what? He got Belanger fighting on Puerto Rican Day Parade. So why not us? Stop making excuses for him. Stop making excuses. Y'all, that's what's wrong with the black people. We comfortable with trinkets and symbolisms and shit. Well, as long as he got the job, we good. We ain't got no expectations for him. We ain't got no expectations. Shit, y'all niggas clowns, man. Anyways, man, tonight, they clowns, straight clowns. Clowns, you're clowns.
The great agitator, ladies and gentlemen, Frederick Hawthorne. Catch him here at the barbershop, 9 p.m.
Y'all niggas just happy. To get some water. Y'all don't care if it's hot, cold, or room temperature. Just give me some water, boy. Yeah, you know who y'all sound like? Y'all sound like Chris Rock. Just put it in my hand. Nigga, clown ass niggas. Y'all niggas clown. Yeah. But the one thing I'll never do, I'll never argue with Bob Arum about Al Heyman. That's not what I would. No, I would never use a white man to discredit a black man. That's one thing Fred won't do. But I'm gonna call Bob and see if he want to talk about what the hell's going on in boxing. Obviously, I'm gonna call him right now as soon as I hit in, and we'll save the Al Heyman talk for when he get off. All right.
Peace, bro.
Love y'all, man. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.